sparkles.
Well, hello there, everybody. Welcome to SkyTour LiveStream. It is Mark D'Antonio here, and of course, in the background, you will certainly hear Keith from P&K Space Imaging, who's also here. Hey, Keith, what's happening?
I'm glad you all can hear me because I can't hear anything you're saying.
You can hear everything I'm saying.
Hold on, wait a minute. Hold on. Let me just turn this up a little bit. Okay, there we go. I think we got it.
I think you're better now.
Yeah. I can hear you now.
See, now, it's been a while, but we've been working on the scope. I've been working on the scope, and Daryl Mason's been helping me. We've been going back and forth looking at some things. And it really comes down to a couple of problems that I had when I was out there with the scope. And but I still managed to take some nice photos. And as always, they're up on the site. They're up on our server, our public server that's available for you. That's a pinned link on SkyTour LiveStream Facebook page and on my personal Facebook page as well. So you can get it from either one of those places. I think that is really, really cool. So as soon as the pictures are taken, you will get copies of them, and they're up there probably within realistically 10 to 12 minutes. So they're shipped out the desert, sent way up into the ether, and you'll find them for you to examine and enjoy. You can try your hand at stacking. You can try your hand at just looking at the beautiful pictures, because we show the processed ones as well. And tonight, we're in a position where the Milky Way has started to go, west of the meridian, basically. So, but we can still see it, and we can still see many things in the Milky Way. And there's no moon tonight, yay! Okay, which of course Keith always.
Boo.
I know, right? Keith likes the moon. Go figure. But it's actually cool. It's really neat. And while I'm getting the last few things set up here, I'm going to just let Keith tell you what he's been doing lately. What's going on, Keith?
I woke up this morning.
Yep. That's a very good thing. Tell us more.
No, we haven't been doing much. Oh, a lot of these people were with us when we were streaming last week. We were, we tried to give you a bunch, and actually we'll probably do the same thing again this coming month if we can. I don't know. I'm pretty busy this month, so we'll figure it out. We'll do some.
All right.
We'll try to do some anyway.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you that I was hoping you would tell people about the video that you were doing, but I guess...
Nope. That's under wraps until it comes out.
Oh, then you mean I can spoil the fun?
Nope.
Oh, all right, I won't. I'll be kind. I'll be kind.
And hello to Marianne Robb live.
Yes, you sat in her living room.
You ever notice those like DJs sound constipated?
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing?
They always do. They always do. That's right. That's right. Like,
So what are we looking at tonight, Mark?
well, we're gonna be taking a tour of the sky, but we're gonna be doing some stuff with some really cool things in the sky that a lot of people know about, and I will be sharing those things with you in a minute. Now that we're set up, ready to go, the telescope is doing better in terms of its operations. We're trying to troubleshoot it, so we're going to find out what's going on. I think the first thing we should go check out, though, and here's the thing, okay? Yes, I want to look at the Andromeda galaxy, of course, and yes, I want to look at the M33, which is the Triangulum galaxy.
Juniper.
Yeah. And Jupiter's up there too. But you know what? You got to keep in mind that our telescope here, this is a wide-angle telescope.
Yeah, I know.
So we're not going to be able to see the kind of detail that you're used to seeing with P&K Space Imaging, which do a superior job with the planets and the moon. Each telescope has its purpose.
Well, thank you very much.
And that's it. And that's P&K Space Imaging. Keith, put your link in the chat, will you? At the appropriate time. Whenever you want.
Get right on that.
And someone will too, I'm sure. Sorry. Anyway, I'm pretty sure that I'm going to keep coughing. I don't know.
Well, that's gross.
I know it is, isn't it? All right. So.
Water. Hydrate. What is it with you and hydrating? Just hydrate.
I did. I got my water right here.
Tons of water.
It's not water. All right. So.
That's Grandpa's old cough syrup, huh?
All right, let's see here. No, I want to take us to one place in particular right off the bat. And this is where I'm going right here.
Shoot, I forgot how to even get to my own channel. Okay, here we go.
Don't even say that.
I did for a second, but I got it now.
Now first, just so folks understand, okay, if you're just joining us, this is the telescope control section right up there in the top. Okay, right above me here, this is the telescope itself in the building out in Arizona. This right here to my right, okay, that's the actual telescope menu and readout so that I can see what's going on at the telescope at all times. That's the main screen right here in blue. And then beyond that, okay, this is our live planetarium that we use. Okay, and then we can actually use this to actually control the telescope as well. All right, and so...
so sick.
It is really sick. And we've added technology, by the way, Keith, which I don't know if I told you about, but I can actually look at this location right here in the sky, and I don't even know quite where it is, but all I have to do is go up to tools here and hit plate solve, and it'll tell me everything about this field and what's in it. I think that's pretty freaking sick.
Oh, by the way, before we even get started with all this,
I
have to tell you and the rest of the people this.
Go for it.
There is a guy in Texas, and he has a channel here on YouTube.
Okay.
It's called Ray's Astrophotography.
Oh yeah, Ray. Yep.
Ray is actually building one of these, and I'm going to put him in contact with Mark so you guys can talk to Ray. He's actually doing the same setup you are. He actually just bought new land, and he's doing the same setup with the roll-off roof and everything. And he said he might have technical questions or help. And I said, you would be the perfect person to get a hold of. And if that's the case, hopefully we can get him joining in on this whole streaming thing that we got going.
Sure. That sounds wonderful.
Because a fantastic channel, fantastic person. So hopefully we can get Ray's astrophotography in the mix. He does wonderful work, so anybody that needs to, go ahead and check him out.
Cool.
And hopefully Mark will get him set up and help him get his roll-off shed like Mark has there, and then you'll have two different points of view.
I designed it to be, functional for many years, and then thanks to Marianne Robb and Tara Deolis, who's here as well, they oversaw the construction because I couldn't be there at the time, and it worked out well.
Tenfold.
Well, yeah. All right, so let's see. I'm going to change our camera depth here to RAW 16. That's a higher resolution imagery. The screen will go blank for a moment and then come back. Boop.
Resolution.
Yes, that's right. And we're doing a 1 second exposure here. It's just after 8, so the sky isn't as dark as it should be out there. We still have some time before the sky gets really dark enough. So that's why you see it looks a little blue. But we have plenty we can do while the sky is blue.
Yep.
Don't you know?
Don't you know?
Yeah. So I think the first thing we'll do, like I said, is we're going to go and check out one of the objects that I really like a lot in the night sky. And keep in mind, we don't yet have Starlink out here. We're on the list. We're going to have it, but we don't have it yet. But when we do get it, we're going to be able to have far better real-time interaction with the telescope.
Oh, it's going to be so good.
It will be. Yes, you'll see the telescope start moving now.
I know people in Idaho that have started using the Starlink thing,
Yeah.
and it's actually a pretty cool little system. It's like all you got to do is like plug it in, and it automatically just finds it, and it's all automated setup. You don't even have to do anything.
That's right.
It's pretty cool.
That's right. Okay, so we're going to a star down here called whatever the star is. Nash is the name of the star. And if we come over here, you'll see that we're centering the star. And that's it right there. And then from there, we do a high precision motion up to the object we're looking for. And that will be, it'll move here in just a moment. You'll see it's centering it up. And then it's going to go zipping away just like that.
UFOs.
And we should, yeah, they are. And we should see our object of interest. It's a little bright out still.
Yeah, you got some glow.
I still have
No
some
big
glow.
deal. It'll go away.
It'll glow away.
Can you believe it's October already?
No, I I do not like this at all.
Where'd this year go?
I do not like this at all. I do not like that it's October.
Somebody buy this man a blanket.
Exactly. All right. Yeah,
Oh, man. Mark, you like warm water?
What?
Marianne said you like warm water.
No, I like, if it's really hot out, I don't drink cold water. I drink water that's lukewarm. That is to say, air temperature.
Oh, gotcha. Still gross.
Okay, fine.
But hey.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna...
Everybody has their quirks, I guess.
Yes, that's true. That's true. I have a few of my own.
Don't we all?
Yes.
You learn what you like through denial and error.
Denial and error. Oh, that's cute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's very cute. Very good. Yeah.
Hey, when's James Webb due to go?
As soon as October, it said. And so I
Wow.
don't know if that's really when it's going to go. But we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, by the looks of it, with the excitement going around it, I think it might actually happen. I know it's going to happen this year.
They're pretty excited about it right now, I can tell you that.
Yeah, they seem to be putting out a lot of videos and stuff about it, so
yeah,
I'm thinking they're really dialing in.
Yeah, they're getting close.
Yep. Oh, that's going to be a heart attack watching that thing.
Oh, I actually don't know if I can watch the launch because I don't know if I can handle it. I'm pretty sure I can.
My cat just ran into the wall again.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's on the nip.
Rabies.
Get away from me, you nip freak.
Rabies. He has rabies.
Yeah. No, he's on the nip. I was trying to have an intervention, but he kept on eating all the treats.
That's catnip, folks. That's what he's talking about. Catnip.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a look at our sky out there, first of all. Okay, this was the sky from earlier. Let me... Okay, and let's just do a acquisition here. This is a 10
The all sky cam.
Yeah, we'll see what it looks like.
The all-seeing eye. The all-ski eye.
That's right. Ski the eye. Yeah, there we go. See some Milky Way. Yeah, we're doing good. We're doing really nice. So.
Hey, you never told me this. Why do they call it the Milky Way again?
Oh, because it looks like spilled milk, in the sky. You knew that.
I actually didn't, and
wow.
Well, you know what? Back in the day before light pollution, I bet you it did.
I'm thinking it did.
But still, it could have been something a little more majestic.
Maybe.
Like, oh, look at that! Looks like spilled milk. Let's call it Milky Way.
Yeah. Okay.
And let's call these giant mountains over here in the west Rocky Road.
Hey, yeah.
Original.
That's a great idea. How...
It's the white cat, Marianne.
The white cat?
Yeah, Thor. He's the one running and being a nip freak.
Okay.
Oh, Anahata says the James Webb is now December 18th.
Oh, they pushed it up again.
Okay.
That's Bonnie. Anahata, how are you? Nice to see you here.
That'd be a cool Christmas present.
People here. Let me just pull out of here for a second. I want to try and... There we go. Okay, now I want to move. We're waiting for the bandwidth is actually kind of poor right now out there, so it's not the most pleasant view. I apologize, but when I get this dialed in, we should be okay here. Just a minute.
Dial it in like a professional.
Right, we're gonna dial it all in. We're gonna dial it in. Yeah. Yeah. See what's going on here.
Da-da-da. This is what dialing it in looks like, people.
Yeah, it's just exactly. So let's go. I'm gonna go back to here.
Almost as good as NASA.
NASA, you're funny. You're funny for round eye.
Oh.
Yeah, You know that old thing. Okay, let's get rid of these lines and bring in our right ascension declination line. So let's go back eastward a little bit.
Do 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 do. Ba ba da boom.
I'm trying to bring us to one of our favorite objects here. Exactly.
Keep your friends close and your enemies toaster.
Keep your friends close and put your enemies in the toaster? Yes.
Yep.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Yep.
Whatever that means.
Like a strudel. Oh my.
Oh my.
You know what? Oh, I'm so sick of this Norton popping up on my computer like every day.
Really?
Yeah, every day it pops up and goes, "We have a new product. Please pay us more money." Marianne, let me tell you a story about a man named Jed.
He was a poor mountaineer, barely kept his family fed.
No. He had a horse farm. Hello. Who are you thinking about?
Oh, okay. Then one day, while shooting at some food, off from the ground came a bubbling crude. Oil, that is. Texas tea. Black gold.
Well, thanks for ruining my story, Mark.
Sorry.
This is about a horse that won a Kentucky Derby, and you just messed it all up.
I did?
Yeah, I'm talking about crude horses, or crude food.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. Oh, look at the star clouds. This is just beautiful. I'm ripping through here. I always hated that. Not because you're doing it, but I just hated it because I didn't like it. Like, what's chicka chicka mean anyway? I heard it in songs.
Well, that's what it is.
Yes.
It makes as much sense as bow chicka bow wow.
Yeah, but at least that though was a little bouncy, and that's okay.
Well, the rest of us don't share in your discrimination of chicka chicka.
Okay, no problem. No problem. I'm doing a plate solve to...
Chicka chicka never did anything to you.
I know. I needed bow wow. What? Bow chicka bow wow? Is that what it was?
Bow chicka bow wow.
Right. Yeah. Certainly.
If anybody doesn't know what that means, it can mean two things. It can mean sexy time. Like, hey, me and the wife went home and bowed chicka bow wow. Or it could mean maybe you're trying to impersonate the Seinfeld theme. I don't know.
That's a slap bass. Boom, boom, boom.
Boom.
That's right. Yeah.
It's not easy being sneezy.
The satellite just went across there.
Aye.
Whenever a cartoon
hello, Jacker Spell.
They always made that noise.
Right. What was that thing on like the old Looney Tunes? The hairy thing that always ran around wrecking stuff.
Oh yeah, it said like sneakers.
Yeah.
And it was like
Walt Disney. That was his name.
Yeah. I don't know what it was called, but it was like the witch's like sidekick.
Oh no! It was the shit. Brazilian. Tasmanian devil.
Oh, that guy. Oh, that's different. Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about the big hairy thing that just walked around and looked like a big heart, or had the big shoulders and everything.
That's the Tasmanian devil. Yeah. What's up, Doc?
Yeah. That big red thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
I remember that. I mean, I'm not going to say what it actually looked like, but...
Isn't that what belonged to the witch? Every
Yeah.
time she'd run, you see her little bobby pins flinging and swinging in the air. She goes... she'd go in there.
And hello to Rockstar.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
8970 Able Wrench.
I'm going to try something here while we're doing this.
See what happens when we have to wait, guys. We go a little off script.
We're just doing testing.
Little does anybody know, Mark has an entire script here on my screen I'm supposed to read.
Well, yeah, you were 3 seconds too early on the Seinfeld skit, so you know.
Sorry, hold on, let me jump ahead. Hold on, let me read. Where were we? There. Okay.
Right, as if.
This is outer space. Space is fun. Please put a telescope on Waylay to pay for. Oh, I think it's supposed to be layaway, Mark.
You're funny.
Spelled it wrong.
Okay. So. All right, let me. I'm gonna take us to this star.
Hey, did you know like 3 out of 4 serial killers are into astronomy?
Oh, that's nice. Thank you. So nice to know.
I found that fascinating. Siobhan is at home. She actually had a game tonight, so she's at home doing that, wishing she was in bed sleeping, but she's up late doing that. So that's why I had tonight free, and I jumped on here with Mr. D'Antonio of the SkyTour LiveStream.
Sure.
But yes, she is fine. She is lovely.
That is good.
Damn right. NASA chill.
Yeah.
So how was your trip out west, Mark? Was it good?
Yeah, I spoke at the UFO Congress, and then I actually spoke at another place, and then ended up going out to the observatory. And it was actually kind of cool. Kind of cool.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to stream out there, and like nothing ever happened.
I know. Well, that's because I can't stream from the observatory itself.
No, but you can stream from Mary Ann's house.
Yes, but I never did actually get to stream from Mary Ann's house.
Oh, I see. You just didn't tell me, huh? Okay. I see where it is.
It's okay. You see how it is? Now, let's see here. Okay, this...
That's what I get for being a part-timer.
Hey, watch it. Okay, let's see where we are. Okay, this is where we want to be. And I'm going to do this and do this.
Hey, Siobhan, Dagger says he.
He? Okay. Alright, so I'm going to move this more to the center. And then we'll have what we want to see in this...
Okay, yeah, German accent doing astronomy, probably not the best thing to do.
Why? The Germans are actually, I mean, the one of the sky charts I used...
Yeah, but it was a little greasy how we got them.
No. We got these by having scholars in astronomy that were Germans.
Mm-hmm. Having, quote unquote.
Honor Dirkmerstring was a chart that I used all the time.
Okay.
The Bonner, we call it the BD. When you see stars that have BD in front of them, BD plus something, they're a Northern Hemisphere catalog. Bonner Dirkmerstring.
Mr. Mark D.N. von Braun. What is your name? Is your name Italian?
It is.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought it was.
It is. Yep. Okay, this is the...
Always love those apostrophes for no reason.
Yeah, I know. There's always apostrophes.
But you don't really use the apostrophe all that much. And you said before you don't care if they say D'Antonio or D'Antonio.
I don't. And the reason is because when you start using the apostrophe, you find all kinds of online places that can't use the apostrophe properly. And so they say, what's your name again? I don't find it in our records. Well, that's because you were looking it up and trying to put an apostrophe in there when I just go without it.
Gotcha.
So I go without it.
So it's an easier thing. Gotcha.
Yes, that's correct.
So, I mean, if you had the choice, like if people know your name, do you have a preference? Do you have, like, is D'Antonio your preference or is D'Antonio your preference?
D'Antonio. It's like, it almost sounds the same, doesn't it?
No. I mean,
Yes.
if I'm looking at it, it kind of is like roof and rough.
No, it's always a roof. What are you coming in with this rough thing? Not much to talk about there.
I mean.
Okay, so now, we're going to take a look at the Trifid Nebula. And we're going to stack this. This is a live stack of the Trifid Nebula. It's actually really interesting how the Trifid Nebula actually works. And I'm going to do one thing while we're doing that, while it's stacking. So we have the Trifid
multitasking.
Nebula. Yeah. And I can't read that too well. Telescope positions off a little bit. Let's go back in here.
Do it.
There it is. So,
ooh, look at that.
yeah, well, we're not there yet. We got a few more little things to do here. Just a second. Okay. And let's also... Okay, we got 2 frames now, so let's go ahead and do some processing now.
Processing.
Yes, and then this. Yeah, you can see this is kind of a hyper kind of process for this location. You can see a tremendous amount of red nebulous detail here. That's real stuff. This is the red nebula with its 3 distinct lanes that we always look at. And then this is a blue reflection nebula, which is really cool. And the blue reflection nebula is an area where the star is not hot enough to actually generate a change to the hydrogen gas in the area. Or there's no hydrogen gas of note in the area. So mostly what we're seeing is the young star in this location is just hitting the dark dust that's in here. And the dust then absorbs and scatters the blue light, kind of like the molecules do in our atmosphere, creating the blue sky. So that's kind of what same reason this is blue is the same reason the sky is blue, right? So it's kind of cool. Let's see now if I can work this back a little bit, just to give you a little better view.
This music is spooky.
Yes, it is.
It's October.
It is spooky music, and that's okay.
Welcome to Spooky Month SkyTour LiveStream.
Yes. Where you will be scared out of your left sneaker because nebulae are scary. Okay, let's pin this.
What is hiding in the deep sky?
Yeah.
As we watch for strange anomalies in the Arizona sky.
That's right, and the music gets higher.
You know what's crazy? The other night we were doing a stream and I actually played an Art Bell show. God, I miss that guy.
Art was a great guy.
Art was all. You know who he reminds me of? Bill. Like you can tell like how much he was actually in to what he, his radio show was about. Like he didn't. I don't know. Nori comes across as a little like rushed, like kind of interrupts his people a lot.
Okay.
But Art like actually engaged with him, and I don't know. It's just. Yeah, I miss Art Bell. He was great.
Art Bell was a good guy.
Yeah, he was awesome.
Yep. Good guy. Good guy. Good guy.
You should have seen how much I had to pay just to broadcast that thing. Jeez.
Oh, I imagine.
Yeah, I mean, it was a whole $4.10. But I could get a license for, what was it, $279 a year. And I have access just to the Art Bell backlog, coast to coast.
Yeah, that's right.
And get a what they call a restricted license.
Yeah, that's changed.
What do you mean?
I don't think they have that anymore.
Yeah, they do. I just looked it up. That's how I got the current show.
Oh, you did? Same thing?
Yeah, well, I got the current show because it said you can pay on an on-show basis.
Oh, okay, good.
For rebroadcast. or you can have a yearly fee, and you can have access to the whole Art Bell backlog.
Excellent.
Back catalog. And use whatever you want.
That's good. All right.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah, very cool.
I was getting kind of sick of the copyright-free music, so I wanted to do something different one night. So it was worth $4.10. So and we did one about time travel, so it was interesting.
You did. Wow. That's very cool.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to take a moment while we're integrating. This is the Trifid Nebula that we're on right now, and we're integrating. So far, our exposure has been, if we go into it, it'll tell you how much the total exposure is.
I'm going to pop out the YouTube chat, because I think I want to jump on Stellarium and look around with you. 4
minutes and 35 seconds we've been exposing the Trifid Nebula in this beautiful dark sky. Keep in mind that the star images are only going to get sharper and better as time moves on, because we're going to be... when I get out there, I'm going out there again next month, and I will be working on this telescope again. This time, I will take care of what's called a collimation problem. The stars are supposed to be sharp pinpoints, and as you see, they're kind of elongated a little bit. That's a problem with how I have everything aligned, but we can still see some really beautiful sights in spite of that. So I'm okay, because, I mean, look at the beautiful sky. How can you look at this beautiful red nebula? These are things you just don't see, unless you're under a really, really dark sky. And we are under a really dark sky. So it's great.
I know, it's so great, isn't it?
It's really pretty. Really pretty. So I just want to say hello to everybody that's here. Satisfying Animations is here. Cypher 2 was the first one here. It's so good to see you come back. PG, naturally. Good to see you, Petita. And Tara was here earlier. I hope she's still here. She said she could only stay for a little bit of time. Daisy and Zoe Amethyst, so good to see you guys. Welcome. We have Mike C is here with us. It's so nice to see you. And of course, Marianne Robb, who is one of our benefactors for SkyTour LiveStream, as well as someone who just has sunk herself and her world into SkyTour LiveStream. So much so that we've named her the business director for the Observatory. She has a lot of great ideas and knows a lot of great people. And we have Bobby Burgess. I'm glad you got the book, Bobby. Thank you so much for letting me know. And you were the winner of the book. We had a contest and Bobby won the book. It was The Populated Universe. And Cypher 2, I think you're putting up, you put up our address for the public server. Thank you. You know, and that's cool. And of course, P&K Space Imaging via you, Keithy.
Hello.
That's right. Anahata77, Bonnie, what's happening? Great to see you here. And naturally, Dagger Spells found his way here. Thank you. His way, her way. I don't. Dagger, you know what?
Dagger is a female.
I thought so. Yeah, that's why when I said that, I realized that's not good. Rock, good to see you, Rockstar.
Jeez.
And we also have a lot of people, some people actually that are lurking, that are new, that haven't left any messages yet. But that's okay. You will, because look at this. Look at the screen. I mean, this is only a exposure of just a few minutes, and we're already overexposing some of the nebula. I mean, that's pretty crazy, huh? This is a 7-minute and 30-second exposure, and the way it works is we take exposures. The exposures are run by this control over here. When it pops out, this is the camera control system. We actually have a number of things that we control with the camera from this end. We have the exposure time. It's a 25-second exposure. We have the gain, which is the equivalent of the ISO or sensitivity of the camera. You know how you have a camera that's a 400, 600, 800 ISO, and the higher the number, the more grain you get, but the brighter the image will be because it's more sensitive and pumping more power into building the image. Well, ours is set to 350, and the lowest is 0, and the highest is about 550. So you see we're 3/4 of the way up. So we're actually using a fairly high, relatively speaking, a high ISO camera right now. All right, And then down here we have a little histogram here. This is called a histogram. It shows you where the red, green, and blue line of the colors all kind of intersect. And this yellow line represents a line that we can actually move. We can move this curve. And when I say curve, it is a curve. We can actually slide it to the left, and you'll see that we're going to capture more of the data. And when we do, it'll actually make it brighter like you see there. Okay, so we actually notice, for instance, when we do this, we see that the blue extends out here. It's not just here, it's out here, it's out here. It actually surrounds this entire nebula. So that's kind of cool. And if we set it back down to just a 0 position, we get back to where we were. We could, add some extra refinement by just hitting this key over here. This will give us a very, very, what I say is a hyper processed view. But it's almost too much, isn't it? But it's amazing to see, because we're actually in the summer Milky Way right now, which is fast retreating. As it turns out, this particular nebula is fairly high up, and we'll look at another one right after this.
I was just going to ask you that. Isn't and I just remember these from back in the day, just when I used to have what were they? The National Geographic books on Hubble objects.
Yeah.
Wasn't there was it the American Nebula or something like that, or
North America Nebula? North America.
I think that's what it was called.
Right now, that's directly overhead from us right now.
Yeah, and there was another one, like a Pigeon Nebula or something like that.
Pigeon.
Because it was around this area, so a lot of it because I think it was called the bird nest or something like that. So it was.
Well, there is a bird's nest cluster.
Yeah, and then that's where the Pigeon Nebula is, or whatever it was. Hold on, let me look it up.
I think you should.
Pigeon. Okay, I was a little off. It's the Pelican Nebula that's up around, and it's the North American Nebula.
North America.
The Pelican Nebula and the Bird's Nest are all in the same area.
That's correct.
Yeah, sorry. Anyway, let's check that stuff out.
Well, I think we should be able to get to that. Because
it is. I'm not sure because it might be up. You have full access up there, so.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the Andromeda galaxy to get a little higher.
Sorry, I don't know M numbers if there are any associated with any of those.
That's fine. Okay, so now we're at a total exposure time of 11 minutes on this location, this area, and you can see this beautiful, gorgeous nebula now coming through. This is just amazing. It's like magic to me. It really is, and we can do some on-the-fly stuff here. We can actually increase its brightness a little bit. We can actually do some modifications. Because we don't have Starlink, we have a 1 second delay on all of our mouse clicks, so it's totally maddening, frankly. But I realize that you guys are willing to kind of wait it out, because you know that when Starlink comes, it's going to be a whole different world. It will be. And let me see now what this looks like. By
the way, Mark, I never told you. I liked your talk there at Pine Bush. It was good.
Oh, you were there. That's right.
Yep.
Yeah. We had a good time at Pine Bush, didn't we?
Yeah, don't we always?
Yeah. PG was there. She's in the chat right here.
Yes, PG was there.
You met PG. Yeah, and Woody.
Very nice lady.
Yeah. Yeah.
So hello again, PG.
That's Petita. Yeah. And who else is in the chat that was there?
What'd you say it was, Petita?
Yeah, and Marianne was there, of course.
No, I'm just making sure I'm saying it right. Petita?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Petita. Okay, I'll remember that.
Yes.
Okay.
He won't. PG, he won't.
I'll try. I'm really bad with names. But no, if I say it 3 times, usually I can remember it.
Okay. In 5 minutes, I'm going to ask you what her name is.
I still don't understand why your name ain't spelled with a K.
I don't know. Maybe it's because, I don't know, maybe it has something to do with my heritage. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just going to start calling you Mars.
That's what we call my friend Marcel. Hey, Mars.
And you can start calling me Keith.
I'll call you Key.
Key.
Hey Key, what's up?
My one friend's dad, it's like still really Sicilian. He couldn't ever say my name, so he always just called me Key.
Hey Key.
He'd be like, "Hey, the Key."
Hey, what are you doing? No, he's saying come here. He's saying come here, come Key.
Hey, the Key. What are you doing, man?
So there we go. So this is the Trifid Nebula. So we're going to take the Trifid now. We're going to pause this stack, and we are going to save the stack. So you'll get the stacked version of this on the server page. There it goes. It's saving it as it's being saved.
Do you have a link to that server page?
I do. In fact, Cypher 2.
Can you send it to me in the chat, and I'll make sure every time you mention it, I'll post a link up.
Alrighty.
That way, we can do it that way so people can find it if they want it.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Let me save it.
Because I know you're pretty busy with the scope work and all that stuff, so.
I'm only doing like 6 things at once, actually.
Allow me to take a little work off your hands, sir.
Thank you for that. Right, so
Sausage.
We're gonna go to another little object just down below this. And I don't even have to move far. I just have to. All I have to do is just lower the telescope slightly.
Ooh.
Ooh. See, because this red you saw here, this is typically what you might see in the backyard scope. This is about what you'd see, right? But what we're going to do is, I have a mode that I go into here when we do this. So I'm going to take us from our 25-second shot. We're going to go to a 1-second shot. Right.
I bet you it is kind of crazy when you're like that. Just seeing, like, infinite universe. It's deep, man.
Yeah.
It's deep.
Hey, Rock, you know something? I've never been high, so I kind of don't feel like
that makes me feel kind of bad for you.
I'm not feeling bad. I love it. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I know, but like, everybody should at least experience that like once in their life.
No interest. Does that make
like even if I gave you like a gummy bear or something?
Well, I'd have to not know that you were doing that.
Gotcha. You all heard that. Mark gave me permission to drug him.
No.
What?
What? It's like Cluzo. Is that your dog? What?
I mean, he says no.
A dig? What?
But, in astronomy, no means yes, right?
Uh-oh. I don't think so.
Oh.
All right. So let's go south a little bit here.
I do. I feel like I want to give you like a gummy bear or something. Like, I don't do it myself personally either. But at least I was like younger and like did it before, so I know what it's like.
Okay. I don't feel the need to know what it's like, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, but think about how much more you would learn about the universe.
Oh, but look how much we're learning right now. Look at these two objects that are going to be right here in this
I know, it's raining stars. That's all I see.
It's beautiful.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. Well, that's not where I'm stopping. I'm just showing you.
Whoa, that looks like an alien head.
It does, but it's not.
Whoa, that's like a big dome head with eyes.
I'll show
That's
you.
weird looking.
This is neat because this is the Lagoon Nebula, which is Messier 8.
Paradolia.com.
That's it, man. And now we're going to move the telescope a little bit this way.
Rock, don't look at that nebula. You'll be seeing something staring back at you.
Yeah.
It does. In the bottom, like right of that nebula, looks like two eyes, like a mouth hole, and a big dome piece.
Tennessee. Don't be ridiculous, Chumley. Right.
Oh no, we don't want to get him the CBD gummies. We want to get him the good, like the Colorado gummies.
Do you have any idea how I would be if I had those? I mean,
yeah, we wouldn't give you the full thing. We'd give you like a quarter of it.
Control. Hey, what was that? What are you
that was my phone beeping.
Don't be beeping. In your contract,
that was YouTube texting me back. I was trying to tell on you for using their copyrighted music.
Right. In your contract, it says turn your phones off.
I'm sorry, but
now you guys, you're gonna, if you like that last shot, check this one out. This is gonna be really pretty. There's not 25D. That's what we can do. 24 seconds. A little jazz night here on SkyTour LiveStream as we move our way into the evening. Yeah.
What? Where are we on our way to again?
We're there. This is the Lagoon Nebula. We Okay, and
Okay, does anybody else see the alien head, or is it just me? I know you probably do, Mark, but does anybody in the chat see it?
we'll find out once we live stack. Let's just live stack this.
Yeah, live stack.
Live stack. We're gonna clear this. This is the previous one. We're gonna clear this live stack, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna bring you a new stack. The stack of Measure 8, the Lagoon Nebula, that is so bright. It has a O-type star that powers it. A star that's so bright that it melts your face off if you got anywhere near it. Yeah, there we go.
That was uncalled for.
Oh, it was not.
It is pretty. I still see the alien, though.
Hey there, OG Skywatch. What's going on?
Mark, if you see the alien, you should outline it with your finger since you have that whole technology now.
I see.
See if you got the same one I do.
I was busy saying hi to the people that are joining us.
See, Daisy and Zoe see it.
Yeah. What's an alien with dandruff anyway?
Dandruff?
Yeah.
It's a hell of an afro.
Right. Sure, that's what it is.
It looks like an alien playing peekaboo.
Now, you know what's neat is that we're looking at
Pencils.
We're looking at something that, you know, when we have imaged before, you don't see this kind of detail, not in a very quick shot like this.
No, nothing even close.
Lagoon Nebula. I mean, look at this right here. We've got this stuff right here. This is an amazing detail in the Lagoon Nebula that you just never see. You see this. You see the main nebula right here. That's really cool. That O star I was talking about is right inside there. You can't really see. It's in what's called the hourglass location.
Oh my God, Marianne, don't age us like that.
And then there's another bit of nebulosity and clusters down here. But look at the dark nebula here. This is really cool stuff. And it is bridged by all this nebulous detail here that's actually glowing as well. And then there's more down here. This is a very, very, well...
Wait, are you using a pointer that I'm not seeing or something?
Yes, I am. You're not seeing
it. Doesn't show up on Skype?
No, I'm using my floaty box of my body floating around.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's okay.
I was wondering what you were talking about. I'm like, I don't see you pointing at anything.
I know. And then
sorry.
So this area actually is a very inhospitable place. If you think that, you know, there's planets forming, there are. But there's also very hot young stars, like these stars that you see in the middle of the lagoon. These stars are young hot stars. Young hot stars don't have planets, not for billions of years. And it took 4.6 billion years for us to form. So we can expect a similar formation around a star, kind of like ours, right? Formation duration, okay? Well, that sounds like conjunction, junction, formation, duration. What's your ration? I don't know.
You know what the most interesting thing I find with this image? It looks like, see that nice little, well, it's a little bit more than a 90-degree angle down, like kind of dead center of that?
From here?
Where the clouds cut out? Hold on. No. I'm talking about in the bright spot down there.
Oh, down here?
Okay, now right when your mouses go down. Down. Now see that dark spot that comes up into that nebula? It's like a right angle. Right to the left, to the left, to the left, to the left, right there. You got it.
Oh, yeah. He's talking.
That's pretty nifty, and it looks like another one to the left of that yet.
Yeah, he's talking about. Well, actually, did they? I don't know if they get to see that. I don't think they can see that. Yes, they can. Now they can.
By the way, sorry, I'm not astronomy trained people. I don't know what we call these. I'm just here for fun, but yeah, these are awesome. I'm here to learn like you all.
You're allowed to ask questions as well as answer questions too. Compass Rosette, how you doing?
So what did you say that thing was?
That's a dark nebula that's in front of the bright nebula, and so that just happens to be one of the formations. If you look up close at this, you'll notice that it's actually really, really got some cool definition around the edges. Just like you see that little spot right there.
Yeah.
Okay, that little spot right there is a neat spot because it's a dark nebula that's collapsing, you know, self-gravitationally collapsing. So we're actually seeing right in front of us, potentially, more locations where stars can form. Because these black spots in space are famous, named by a guy named Bart Bach. And I was actually was taught by Bart Bach, and Bart Bach discovered these things called Bach globules, which are these dark areas that end up being self-gravitationally condensing areas in space, little spots like this that eventually show really, really high infrared energy inside, meaning that they're collapsing and getting hotter and hotter and hotter. And if enough gas is collapsed into this central object, you can get a star eventually. And that's how stars form. You collapse enough hydrogen, and all the mass of all the other hydrogen outside makes the hot center become warmer and warmer and warmer until it becomes absolutely rippingly hot. And once it reaches around 13 million degrees, 13 million Kelvin, I should say, then it goes off, and hydrogen fusion can start in earnest.
Gotcha.
And then it's really
very interesting,
amazing how stars form. And they usually form in clusters like this here. And they usually can illuminate these nebulae just by their ionizing energy. It causes the hydrogen gas to lose all their electrons, and then the electrons come rushing back into the hydrogen atoms, and when they do, they give off light. And that light is predominantly this red light we see.
And you know what? Another interesting spot I find is in the upper left of that current image. See where that red streak is coming down through with the black? Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
That's crazy looking.
That's another location, yep. That's exactly right. Yeah. This is just something else. I'm going to see if a color balance will do something here for the colors.
Color balance.
Not really. I got a little too much blue in there.
Oh my.
Oh my.
Oh my.
I have too much blue here, Captain.
It kind of looks like a porky pig.
Take us out of here, Mr. Zulu. Whatever you say, Captain.
Going warp 9 to Uranus.
You are incredible.
Zuko is great.
So here we go. That's the beautiful lagoon and the environment around the lagoon, isn't it? I mean, I'm telling you, this is just beautiful.
So what do you think it would look like? Okay, I know you've imaged some of this stuff from Connecticut when you were doing it, but it was nowhere near this, even with, long exposures and whatnot.
That's correct, because we do have brighter skies than here.
Right.
The Arizona skies are probably about 50 times dimmer.
Well, it's not only that. I mean, you got to remember, you did get the telescope worked on as well. That kind of helps. But
the telescope that was here that we were using for the whole last year is this one. That's why I'm so familiar with it. It's that very scope you see in that picture over here. That right there is the scope that was out in the front yard here in our building here. I sold the dome here, and now you can't see it back there, but well, maybe you can if I turn on a light here. But the scope that's going in here is going to be let's see if we can see it. Oh, you still can't see it. Oh, I know why. Duh. Sorry. I'll show you now. The scope that you're going to see is the one that is right behind me now. Okay. That telescope is going back out in the dome. That's got a 5-inch refractor on it right there. It's a 10-inch telescope. And the both of those together are going to provide a tremendous amount of view capability. It's going to be so stunning. And then we're talking about, I don't know if I should say it now, but I will. We're talking about a third observatory. And no, we're not made of money, but we do have a very successful GoFundMe campaign that worked to help us. But it's really amazing how it's turned out,
Yeah, they're putting that one in Alaska.
And we're not putting that one in Alaska. I will never.
Siberia.
I don't want to go to the cold anymore. Bye, background. No, I actually not gonna do that.
What's this? You're putting a dome in the Bahamas?
Ooh, hey, Ooh. Everybody will go. I'll have everybody there.
I feel like I'm watching a Secure Team video right now. What's up with the music?
Yeah, right. Right, that's right. Yeah, the Secure Team. Yeah, security team. They did a whole video about me. I can't believe they did, but they did. Those guys.
Of course, you said something that they could cut up and,
No, I said something. I said before the Nimitz incident occurred, I actually came out and talked about USOs underwater because I had witnessed one on a U.S. submarine one time, and I wasn't even a Navy guy. I mean, they must see them an awful lot, My thought was, and it turns out that they do, and I thought that was pretty interesting.
Underwater submerged orifices.
Object. Object. Unknown submerged object, Mr. Data.
Yeah, that's right. That was, 3 or 4 years ago, probably by now, wasn't it?
Yeah. That was...
You were still writing for HuffPost at that point, I think, when he did that.
No, that's actually when I started talking about it. This is decades ago.
So, I mean, when Security Team did the video.
Oh. No, that was just like 3 years ago.
Yeah. You were still writing for Huffington Post then, weren't you?
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. Lee Spiegel would have me work with Ben Hansen and him. But then it came to be that Ben Hansen and I and a woman named Melissa Tittle, we did a nice documentary for Discovery Plus, which we were the cast for it. We actually did a nice discussion and investigation of the Hudson Valley UFO phenomena. 3,000 cases in 10 years. That's
here's the big question from Susan Woodcarver. Are you ready for this one?
Yes.
And you have to answer. She said, about how much do these types of telescopes cost? If you can't say that's not okay, you should say and not keep it secret.
No,
and where would you purchase
I can't
one?
say that's okay. You're the one that's telling me I have to say, but I will say. Okay, and the reason that I will say is because we're transparent here. The telescope that's out in the dome, out in the building out west, is a telescope that overall costs just about $6,000. And we added some things to it and bringing the value up. So you're looking at about a $10,000 investment. Now you're saying, wow, that's a car. Why would you do this? Why don't you just get a car? Well, I need a car too. Okay, so I guess it's called misplaced priorities. But I'm an astronomer. This is what I do. And we put our money where our strengths are, right? And that's what mine is. So my strength is in bringing this to you. And so I spent the money to actually put a telescope in Arizona that came from our GoFundMe and our amazing benefactors. So I know that we're talking about, and that's not money that I get, just so you know. I don't make money from that. I don't make any money on this whatsoever. I don't. Okay, the money brings to the instrumentation. The money brings this stuff for you. It brings it to you.
What? We at least make $4 off of ad revenue.
Well, that's P&K with 50,000 people watching. Okay.
Oh yeah.
But honestly, thank you, Susan. But the answer is, the telescopes are expensive. The telescope I showed you just a moment ago behind me, now lost in the distant blackness, that was a telescope that I got with my friend John Zach. And John Zach is, he was a very good friend of mine, and he had cancer and he passed away. So I put the telescope in a box and I just didn't want to look at it for like 5 years. And we were good friends. We wrote software that the Hubble Space Telescope team used to look at their images initially. And so it was actually kind of very, very sad that he went, and especially with the way he did. So bottom line is that when I finally I had a surgery that went south 6 years ago, and I decided I was going to take the telescope out as therapy and rehab to get back, because I had to learn how to see, walk, and talk again, blah, blah, blah. And when I did that, I decided I was going to do John justice and create the thing we had always wanted to do, to make an online observatory for everybody to see and use. And so I did. And that became SkyTour LiveStream East. And, it really just humbles me to look at what we're seeing now on the screen and think that this is the kind of thing that John and I were after way, way back years ago. And we did it here first, and we always had, hopes and dreams that we would get someplace in Arizona we could use to do this. And now we have. So every time I show you guys something, you have to understand that I'm not just doing it for me. I'm doing it for you guys and for John, who's watching us from wherever he is. I actually dedicated my book Populated Universe to John because he was a very nice guy. His ex-wife was actually someone who was very sweet, and they remained very good friends. She's a very nice lady, and honestly, the man was a saint. And so I thought, being that way, and he was also very generous. He would always come over, like if he'd bring desserts and stuff for the kids. He'd love to just give them a whole bag of Oreos. Say, here, have some Oreos. Drive my kids crazy, off the wall with sugar. But you know what? He was being generous, and that's kind of what makes a difference. And those people influence you. They change how you think. I can't look at an image like this without thinking of how beautiful it is, and I can't imagine, that there's people out there looking at it going, "That's ugly," or whatever. And those of you watching tonight, I think are looking at a beautiful piece of the universe. And I'm really humbled that I can bring it to you. And I really want to thank people for all their support. As I said, the GoFundMe money is not my money. I don't touch it. So I'm looking, hopefully, eventually to make some money on this, just to do only this. I can't do only this right now. I have a special effects business that I need to pay attention to and do model work for like the Navy and for shows. But I'd like to, I could alter that. I could change that. I wanna do this. This is what I want to do. What you see right here. I want to bring you astronomy. I do talks all over the world on astronomy and exoplanets and extraterrestrial life. And this is the kind of thing that just gets me going. What can I say? Now I'll stop though, Keith, because I know that you're sitting there going, "Oh, here he goes again."
No, I'm listening. It's a good story. Well. Oh, and by the way, Susan Woodcarver, the answer to your second question is you can go on to any of the the major telescope dealers like websites. You can get them shipped directly to you if you want, but I would suggest you have a local person or a store or something that knows what they're doing, because if they send it through shipping, depending on who they ship it through, you want to make sure you have somebody there to teach you to like collimation and stuff like that, just to get it to peak performance once you get it. But yeah, you can get it through Celestron.com and get it through Mead, I believe. Is it MeadUSA.com or Mead America or something like that?
Let me just say, it's not important that you think about all the technical things like collimation and stuff like that.
Well, if she gets it and it comes and it's knocked off in the shipping process, you definitely want it to be collimated when you go to look.
Yeah, and that's something that they can do for her when she buys it in the store. Okay, that's my point. And so, Susan, don't ever be put off from buying a telescope. If you need advice on the telescopes, I'll help you any way I can. I think that they're wonderful. I always push the Celestron 6 SE, and the reason is because it's small, it's lightweight, it can go with you on a vacation.
Same. Or the 5 SE. 5 is more than big enough as well.
Yeah, it is. It is. I just think that, being that these are small telescopes, you can take them on vacation, set them up on a tabletop for crying out loud.
Yeah.
A card table, and enjoy the universe like never before. See all these things. Now, you're not going to see stuff like this. I can tell you right now. Okay. Look at the technology here that we're using. Okay. You're not going to see things like this right out of the box. Okay. This requires some technology. We've stacked 42 images. I'm going to pause this right now. We've stacked 42 images of this 25-second shot, and that's what gives us this image that we see here. Now, that's a stack. We've taken an image, and then stack it, right? To give you an idea what that means, if you look at it, it looks really kind of nice, right? There's no grain, there's nothing like that, right? So I'm gonna save this. I save the stack, and I'm gonna actually save it as we see it. All right, and then as we see it, and I hate this 1 second delay because of the slow internet out there, my apologies. Okay, now if I clear, all right, and I resume, all right, now watch, we're gonna do a 25-second shot, and watch the first image you see. And you're going to see something. Hello there, Leslie Latin Taylor. Nice to see you. The first image you see is actually going to look kind of bad. It's not going to look that good. All right, so when it comes in, I'll hit pause. All right. Okay, oh, well, look at that. We got a plane that went through. Good thing I stopped.
Also, you know what? At some point, you want to explain what the differences are between stacking images and long exposure images.
Yeah.
Just how you get the difference, what the difference is between them.
Yeah, like I'm kind of starting that right here. I'll show you. If we go look at this now, right? Let's go to like, let's see, 75%, 100%. Okay. You see in this image, you see all this, that elongation, by the way, in the star image. That's an error in the collimation, the adjustment to the lenses. I'm going to have that fixed next month. But you see how you see different colors here in the dark areas? Okay, that is not in the other image we just took. This is one image. If you take a long exposure and you don't stack, okay, if you just take one long exposure, say that exposure we took was like 15 minutes worth of exposures, right? If you took a 15-minute exposure, you'd get this, okay, with that setup. But you'd also get a louder noise in there. Okay, if we stack, what happens is it's stacking and it's removing this. It stacks 25-second shots, each of which don't have a whole lot of noise in them. Okay, this is a 25-second shot, and that's noise. But when you stack several on top of each other, this noise gets averaged out into the black, and so you lose the noise over time. And that's the important thing with stacking, losing the noise. You don't want to have noise. It's no fun. Okay, so now that we did this, I know what you want to see. You want to actually go up into the northern reaches here. That's probably a good idea because it's getting kind of low. So let's... okay, we haven't done this. Let's...
I can't believe I called it the Pigeon Nebula.
I know you did. It's kind of weird.
The Pelican Nebula.
Yeah, the Pelican Nebula. You call it the Pigeon Nebula.
Pigeon.
My gosh. How do you get this? How do you say the Pigeon Nebula? Yeah.
I knew it was some kind of bird.
You should have said it with like a New York accent. And what's they go to that there Pigeon Nebula there? That's fine. Okay.
Put it in your nebula oblongata.
Yeah, right. Okay, this is the hyper view. We have a little hyper process. It's sort of like, this is what it looks like. I'll show you in a second. This 1 second exposure, if we just come in here and we turn off this 1 second, not the 1 second exposure, but we turn off this hyper process, okay, you'll see that this yellow line is now farther down. This is the data curve. This is the data right here that you're seeing, that slope right there. Okay, if we have more of this curve on the data, there's a plane going through. Look at that.
Nifty.
Right. Yeah. Then you'll actually see, you'll see that there's more data in here. Right now, this is what it looks like right now, native. Okay.
Hold on, I'm sending that clip to third phase.
Okay, good for you. And then, if we actually put in this real hyper processing, now you look at, we're hitting almost all of it. And now the image shows up. This is what's really hidden in the background for you to see. Isn't that cool? Ain't that cool? So now let's go do what you want to do. And let's first of all go over here.
That is kind of crazy, isn't it, Rock?
Yeah, show is.
It's like I don't know. It's just
showing up.
It's humbling when you look at stuff like this.
It is.
Like we really are floating through the cosmos on a speck of dust.
Yeah, we are under a pale blue dot. Okay, now let's back out a little bit, and let's head up north a bit.
Yeah, I remember the North American Nebula being like, this time of the year it's darn near straight up, or maybe even to the north a little bit.
It's up here. Yeah, it's up there.
It should be a good view then, straight up.
It will be. Last night I was doing some testing, and Daryl Mason was with me. And what I noticed was that the North American Nebula, it wasn't coming in clear. And I couldn't understand it. And then I realized when I looked at it with an external security cam, there was some high winds out there. And the telescope has this dew shield over the front. And that dew shield was actually being buffeted by the wind. So that explained what was going on. It's usually pretty good. All right, so we are...
What's the wind like tonight?
The wind...
Do you have like a little weather station out there, or you just kind of go based on the camera?
Well, I go based on the camera. I do have a weather station. I don't have access to it right now.
Gotcha.
But that's just because I don't. All right, so let's go here.
Hello, Mr. Spiritus.
Mr. Spiritus is here with us.
Mr. Spiritus 001.
And let's go North American Nebula.
Okay. Or the Pigeon Nebula.
Yes, that's right. The Pigeon.
I think
Nebula.
they're around the same area.
Yeah, that's North American Nebula is right next to the Pelican. Pigeon. Jeez.
I remember things.
You do, and sometimes they're right. Okay, we're going to Deneb, which is the brightest star, and Deneb is the star from which we're going to leapfrog over to the North American Nebula, which is just north of it. So the telescope senses up a known object, and then it takes us to the object of interest. So it centers it up, and then off it'll go, and you'll see it go squiggly again in just a second as we head up to the North American Nebula. And there we go.
There we go.
And here it comes, and there it is. And you can even see that it looks like North America, even in our hyper kind of view here. Now I'm actually going to move us a little bit over, because what I want to do is actually show you that we have a to move it to get to see the Pelican Nebula as well. There's so much nebulous detail here. It's gonna knock your socks off. When you guys see this, you're gonna say, "What in the heck? You thought those other nebulae were exciting? Wait until you see this." I mean, I can't wait for you to see this, to be honest.
The countdown is on.
The countdown is on. So here we go. Now I'm gonna just bring us back up, center us all up in here.
Autobots, roll out.
Autobots, activate. Okay. Who was that? All right. So we're gonna bring this up, and you can't put it all in one field. And our view is actually quite a large field. This telescope has a view that is across the page here. It's over 2 degrees in size, and it's 1.5 tall. So if you think about that, okay, we're talking about more than four moons across, 4 full moons across.
Yeah, what's a moon, like half a degree?
Half a degree, 30 arc minutes or so.
Yeah.
Okay. Now in our little hybrid view here, you can even see there's some real cool detail in here. And with SkyTour LiveStream East, the best we could get was something like this. And I had to process them and show you what it really looked like. But what's happening in the background here is I've got it set up so that the telescope and the software is doing processing for you and stacking dynamically for you. This is something we've never had before, never done before. And of course the plate solving, it makes life so amazing. So I'm going to just bring us over here a little more. Okay. Andromeda will be pretty high in the sky by the time we're done with this one.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby. Okay.
Andromeda.
Yeah. So let's go drop this down a little bit. I don't want to lose the top of the pelican head over here.
Do you know that's scheduled to be one of the first images from the web?
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
There's probably an awful lot of amazing things to see in the information.
I mean, as much as I love your shot of that. It's I cannot wait.
Well, I think you're right to, you know, not be able to wait.
Well, we're going to stream that live, right? We're going to simulcast it?
Yes. If it doesn't blow up on the pad.
Oh, jeez, don't say that.
It's not. They've worked too hard for this. Is Elon going to launch it?
God, I hope not.
Here, watch this now. This is a 25-second shot now. This nebula coming in. And let's see if you can handle yourselves after this shot. Here it comes. Oh, sorry. I gotta wait for a second. And that didn't work too well. Don't worry. I will be showing you something that's really cool here. Yeah, this is beautiful, but let's get it. Yeah, that's more like what we're looking at. Now let's do this. Okay. Let's do this. Okay. Now let's do this. Okay, I'm gonna take it back.
Oh, this is gonna be special.
Oh, it is. It's gonna be real special. I'm special. So special. Oh, yeah.
This is where you need some of that interstellar music.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of this.
Some Hans Zimmer.
Well, that's kind of like this. Isn't it?
Yeah, this is like the Wish.com version of Hans Zimmer.
Yes, I know. I get it.
But still, I get it, you know.
Yeah.
We've been doing the same thing, you know, just roughing it with the copyright-free playlist.
That's right.
Look at that.
I know.
So much action going on here.
There is.
Be sure to hit that thumbs up button if you like what you're saying. It helps Mark and the YouTube algorithm. Helps them get recommended on people's channels. So maybe we'll have some more eyes coming in to hang out with us and check this out.
That's right. Wowie.
Wowzers.
This is the pelican over here. This is the back of the pelican's head. This is the bill. The eye is this dark area here. And the bill is like right here. And this is the body of the pelican. Here's the Gulf of Mexico. Here's Mexico. And here is Florida.
Yep. By the way, a little selfless plug here. There is a possibility tomorrow we might be streaming the sun.
Hey, that's a great idea.
Haven't done that in a while, so a nice solar stream might be in order.
I think that's a good idea. You should do it.
We try to do that right around noon time, so it's at the highest point in the sky.
You should do that.
And it is becoming active. We're exiting the solar minimum. We're heading towards the solar maximum in another 6 years. So, yeah.
Yeah,
it's starting to become active. We've got some sunspots. We got some nice plasma discharges.
Mm-hmm. The prominences.
The prominences.
I'm going to add a little bit of sharpening to this so we can
Once again, you can check that out at PK Space Imaging.
Okay, so now...
That's something you should add to that. Oh, I guess it would be kind of too hot out there, wouldn't it?
Solar? Yeah, it's too hot. I mean, you could do it in the winter. But I could add a solar viewer. Hey, C&D boy, how's it going up there in Canada?
Yeah, I'd just be more worried about your like equipment,
Kyle Lynch
like heat.
is here. Look at that.
I know, right? Insanity.
Yep.
It's a cloudy day in space. Space dust.
Yeah. So here.
Anybody watching that Marvel series, the What If series? Doesn't like kind of dead center of the screen, a little bit up to the right, look like the Watcher?
That's funny.
And like the two bright stars look like his eyes.
That's funny. It does.
Kinda.
So what do you think? This is the Pelican, and there's the North American Nebula. This
gorgeous.
This area right down here, and this is a really neat area, and I gotta talk about that for you for a minute.
How many frames you got so far?
Right here. If you look down below, it tells you how many frames we've actually taken. We've got 10 stacked right now. Yeah, it's actually over to the right.
So it's just going to continue to get better.
Yeah. So this area right here that you see, this area of dust, it comes around here and continues over here. Look at this little tendril. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, but this dark area right here is actually called the Wall. W-A-L-L. It's the Cygnus Wall. It's in the constellation Cygnus, the Swan. And
that is the Rocky Mountains.
it's the Wall. And the Wall is an area where there's a lot of hydrogen gas and dust. And that dust forms a cloud. And you might think that this black area right here is an absence of stars, and it's actually a void. But it's not. That's actually dark material, dark dust, that is sitting on top of... Leslie, thank you so much. Oh, thank you.
And hello to Lynch Hub.
That's dark dust that's sitting in front of the bright nebula behind it, and that's blocking the nebula behind it. Okay? And that's what that is. So you can see those dark tendrils right there. And this is just beautiful. And if you saw my Facebook posts, I've taken some of these images, and I have an algorithm for removing the stars, or most of the stars, from the images, so you can see what the nebula looks like without the stars. And it's really, really impressive to see, you know. But this is just beautiful. This is a gorgeous night. Pretty good for 25 seconds, don't you think? Here, we would need about 4 minutes to get close to this, and we need to use a narrowband filter. Out there, I'm using a special filter. It's only letting through certain amounts of light, little tiny bits of light. Among them, the H alpha, which is that pink area, that actually the brightest part of the nebula you see. This area of the nebula, the red. This is really a lot more red than it shows here, and it also allows in doubly ionized oxygen, which is sort of a blue, and it allows in the color of sulfur, which is another reddish color. And so it's all kind of an all-in-one filter. It's pretty cool. Let's see if we can get a little adjustment to the colors here. Okay, that's a little better, a little too much though on the red. Yeah, I'll do it this way. Pop it back. We'll take it back a little. Yeah. So we have 17 frames stacked already. Isn't that amazing? 17.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, look at that. And it is getting better. You'll notice that this little tendril is more defined. You can see a little wing coming off it now. It's a little better. Look at this piece right here. Look at this beautiful nebulous run right here. This dark nebula. That dark nebula, you know, I have talked about it in The Populated Universe, the book that I wrote. I've talked about it actually on our this past Sunday night's SkyTour Radio, which is the companion radio show. Actually, it's a TV show now, radio and TV, and that is actually, we talked about carbon, and much of that black dust you see in the sky here in this view is actually carbon molecules. That is to say, carbon-carbon. You know, carbons bond with carbon, and they're floating around out in space. And that's actually dust. Now imagine carbon-carbon, you know, mating with a lot of other of those, and it becomes this dust particle. And of course, it's black, and it has special properties. You know, the way it interacts with light. You know, high energy light gets scattered by it, and the low energy light doesn't tend to. So when you have some nebula like this dust and dark nebula that's surrounding a star, if it's a star that has if it's bright, then the ultraviolet end of the spectrum has the blue end of the light, and the infrared spectrum has the red end of the light. You know, so it's a visible spectrum. It's blue at one end, red at the other. Well, that blue light ends up getting scattered, because high energy can get scattered so easily because it's so high energy. And it's like, what's going on? What's going on? Boom! And it gets scattered. It's so easy to scatter. So the blue light gets scattered, and so you end up seeing some stars have these blue clouds around them, like the very first image we saw with the trifid nebula. Remember? That actually had that blue scattering nebula, or reflection nebula, they're called, above the red nebula. Well, the red nebula is like these over here, okay, that we're seeing here. It's like all these red nebula that we're seeing, okay? But the blue is a reflection nebula, and it's called reflection, but that's what they call it. And Kyle's asking, so just fine dust? It's dust, but not like you see here on Earth. Okay, it's a very interesting kind of interstellar dust. It has a very strange look, and a probe that went through our solar system grabbed some of this stuff and brought it back to Earth, and we looked at it and we saw what it was really made of. And it doesn't look like the dust you see on Earth because it was made in space. It was made without gravity. It was made in the depths of space. It's actually, you say, well, where's all this carbon and stuff come from? And the answer is that when a star dies, it swells into a red giant. Okay, all stars do. And when they start, Keith, I know that was you.
Sausage.
Thank you. When the star expands into a red giant,
keep it going.
It starts to pulsate and it puffs off those outer layers. But sometimes, because it's a red giant, it can be so large that the outer layers are cool enough so that you can have molecules. And what forms is basically soot, carbon molecules. And so all this stuff you see, this black dust you see in space, is actually the product of former supernovae, where this black dust from the supernovae, the soot of these former red giant stars, is scattered throughout space. There's so much of it. Every galaxy has it. The process has been something that is basically part of galactic evolution. So that's why we see all this stuff there. It's really outrageous. It's just gorgeous. So we've done, we've done 27 of these, I think. Yeah, 27 stacked. This is an 11-minute exposure of the North American Nebula. Isn't that pretty? Look at the back of the pelican's head here. Look at all that detail.
I know, right? That's like, it actually kind of looks like, remember that old dinosaur?
Yeah, the
pterodactyl?
Pterodactyl, yes.
Has that like kind of off the back of the head?
That's right. Let's give it a little bit. Let's try and pull out a little more data here. I'm going to process a little more on the fly here. Okay. Yeah, see, there's a lot more up there going on. Yeah, so that's pretty. All right, well, I'm going to pause this. No, wait, you know what? I'm going to let it finish the 30th one. We'll get 30 shots because down here says 29. We're going to do
Lynch was asking some questions in the chat, too. There's a whole bunch of, you can probably run down the list real quick.
Okay, yeah, I mentioned about, just fine dust, yeah. Ionization sense too much. No, the ionization doesn't cause the dust. It's actually a process that carbon atoms are in the envelope of a star. Because these stars, they make hydrogen into helium. Okay, they make helium into carbon. Carbon into nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, etc. Isotopes all the way up to iron. Okay, but the carbon sometimes gets dredged up from inside the star. It ends up in this atmosphere of the star, and when it gets to the outer atmosphere or it goes out in a supernova, then these carbon atoms can actually end up combining into carbon molecules, and that's kind of what we're seeing here. You know, that's what this is about. So aging and supernova both come into play. Sure, supernovae, when they explode, they spill their guts to space. And that's what happens, Kyle. So that's precisely how it works. Well, I guess as precisely as I could, say on a live stream without leaving people in the dust. Interstellar.
Look at some of those bright stars.
Yeah, they're really pretty. Yeah, so you can see this really. This shot came out really pretty. Gee, I wonder how the Andromeda galaxy would look tonight. Ooh. Well, we won't find out yet.
Son of a.
Okay, we're gonna clear this now because we're going out for some more stuff here. All right. Let's
again. Just making the music seem like it got louder. Hold on, let me turn it down.
I think you just got softer.
Might have been.
No. I haven't done anything. Have you?
Nope.
Okay.
I think it's just some of them come through louder than others, I guess.
I actually have it on equalization. That is where it normalizes the music. So any loud crescendos are dun.
Oh yeah, this is definitely a Skype thing.
Okay.
Like it just lets the music come through on Skype.
KAC 84620. I don't know if we can see it. If you have the coordinates, we can look for it. Kyle's asking if we could look at a specific thing.
Hello, Raymond Bubble.
Ray Bobo, how are you?
Oh,
Nice
Bobo.
to see you.
Sorry.
Oh, don't worry, Ray. You're fine. You're fine. And hey, don't worry about the images. They're all available on the live server.
Yep. And the Cliff's Notes will be available at the end.
And the Cliff Notes will be available. Yes, exactly. That's right. Okay, let's go back to our planetarium shot here.
It's actually pretty nice out there tonight.
It is very nice out there. It's really pretty. Okay.
You were having some problems with clouds there for a while, weren't you?
Yeah, but I don't have any problems now. Right now, we're fine.
Yeah. I mean, you had a couple days there because it's still
yes.
the what is it? The monsoon season out there, wet
Yeah,
season.
Not anymore. But it ended. Technically, yesterday was the last day, but it's actually going to be back. You know, but not anytime soon. We're covered. We're good.
Well, I thank you, Raymond Bobble.
Hey, Ray, thank you so much. I missed that until Keith said something. Thank you, man. Thank you so much. Ray, we're about to go to the Andromeda Galaxy, so that $10 is going to be a very worthwhile addition, I hope.
Be sure to tip your waitress.
Yeah, right. No, it's fine. Ray, thank you. And thanks to all those that are just here to see and watch. I mean, I really enjoy your company out here. This is wonderful. I want to see if we can. I want to see if we can get to the Heart Nebula too, and see what that looks like too. I know that looks beautiful. But right now, I want to take us to the Andromeda Galaxy, which is going to be over here.
You know what? While you're heading over to the Andromeda Galaxy, what do you think about the asteroid supposedly that they thought was a planet? Was it? They thought it was a planet, and now they know it's an asteroid, and it's coming towards our solar system.
Well, I don't see. That's the whole thing. You know, when you say coming toward our solar system, it sounds like a bad movie trailer.
Yeah.
Okay. You want to do the Andromeda Galaxy?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just asking you what you thought about.
Yeah, I actually haven't formed an opinion about it yet. Actually.
Yeah, I haven't really. I just saw the headlines, and none of them were from actual, astronomy websites, or they were all just fanaticism of mainstream media trying to get clicks, obviously. But
that's right.
But I'm pretty sure there's some substance to it once you actually read about it.
Oh yeah.
Like in an accredited
Without
place.
Doubt. Okay, we're heading toward Andromeda right now.
You say Mark is still low on the microphone rock, or what? Low to the music, or low compared to me, or I think we're on the same.
Maybe you're just loud.
Channel. I have this thing like a foot from my face, so I shouldn't be too loud tonight.
Okay, this is Mirage, which is the star that we're going to be centering up here. And then from here, we're going to go to the Andromeda Galaxy. And you'll see the galaxy as we pull in. Oh, Leslie, what do you mean freaking you out? Why?
Yeah, nothing to be freaked out about.
Marianne says my voice is high to low. I don't know, Marianne. I don't know what you're talking about.
Just going to be another friend.
Look at this.
Like old Haley.
What's this?
Hale bump.
What's this?
It's a reflection from a telescope mirror.
It's nothing, Chris.
It's the paperboy.
Oh, what's the paperboy? Yeah, okay, this is good. So there's the Andromeda Galaxy, guys. But
they said your talking sometimes goes from low to loud.
I think the problem is that I I'm turning my head because I'm looking at. I actually have several screens here, so I'm operating several things at once. So maybe
Marianne, I said the same thing, but the man has his process, so I'm not gonna mess with it.
Okay, all right. I will bow to your wishes. It doesn't look like I'm looking at relative levels, and it doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't have to go down much.
It just doesn't sound like the music is too loud.
Like, what do you have it on now?
Well,
I can't even hear it.
yeah, see, well, it's on you can't hear it level.
Oh, well, I'm saying where you were before. All you had to do is just take it down like a couple little notches, and it should be perfect.
See that versus that. See there. Okay.
Yeah, it's still loud. Throw it off the roof.
Yeah, I'll throw it off the roof. Okay, so here's the Andromeda Galaxy, but you haven't seen anything yet, guys, because now I'm going to go.
Oh, I love this.
I know you like this. This is good. Hey, after collimation, this is going to be the spectacular image of the century, I can tell you that.
To anybody who doesn't know, I'm trying to convince Mark to make a good thing of this where we can all access it. He can do the processing of it and everything, and everybody can access it to whatever size they want and have it printed out.
Yeah, if I make them larger, I'm going to put them all up on the public server.
Yes.
They'll all be available.
And maybe we can get a couple made and actually give them away on people on stream sometimes.
Yeah.
I'll get a couple posters made. I'll get like 20 or 30 posters made of it.
I actually
send them out to people.
I had a doctor's office ask me if I could make wall-size imagery of these, and the answer is absolutely yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Would that be something you guys be interested in if we got certain things like Andromeda and stuff, and we put them on posters, and then we can ship them?
I'm sure that people would love those.
Yeah.
Okay. So
do them for like giveaways or something.
Let's go now. We're gonna go with this, and I will now put us up to I'm gonna say 25 seconds again, and take off our hyper processing, and then
this is gonna be good.
Live stacky.
It's that time of the year.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, and here we go. Let's see what happens. I think it'll be very, very pleasurable. It'll be fascinating, Captain. And ta-da!
Ooh, we're getting there.
Yeah. Look at that, huh? Notice the graininess, by the way. See what I was talking about? The graininess in here?
Mm-hmm.
Watch how that goes away over time now as we stack another one, and the graininess is subdued and moved into oblivion. Oblivion. This is a gorgeous galaxy. And you're thinking, get rid of that stupid screen. Make it big again. Okay, I will. Here you go.
Yeah, full screen that booger.
There you go. Yes, sirree.
Ooh!
Yeah, look at that, huh?
Oh, we ain't done yet.
This is only 2 stacked. Now, this is the Andromeda Galaxy, sure, and these dark clouds here, these are the same type of dark dust, actually, that's in our galaxy that we see. What we saw at the North America Nebula, that's what we're seeing here, same kind of stuff. Then up here is an elliptical galaxy, and this is another elliptical galaxy, but just a little bit smaller in diameter. These are what are called satellite galaxies. They're orbiting this galaxy here. This galaxy, of course, is Messier 31, M31. These galaxies are also Messier numbers and an NGC number, and these guys are satellites. We also have satellite galaxies. But here on Earth, you know them as the Large and Small Magellanic Clouds. But they're actually companion galaxies to our own. And there's yet another dwarf galaxy out there that's tied to us in some fashion. So
people, we are looking at another galaxy live.
That's right. So you can
like
be sure that
another galaxy. Like we're just sitting here in a little solar system. We are looking at another galaxy.
Oh, beyond that, we're looking at civilizations.
We're looking back in time.
We're looking at other civilizations.
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
No bout a doubt it.
That's right. No about a doubt it. And if you look if you look in the spiral arms, you'll notice that they tend to be bluer. Okay, that's spiral arms in the galaxy are where the new stars form. So you look at here, look at this cloud of blue stars. These are new stars. These are stars forming. So this is an association of new stars that are forming here. And these guys are young and hot stars. These are, and all throughout this whole spiral arm, you have that same thing going on, right? And so when we look at a different location, like up here, okay, we also see up here, we see the same kind of thing going on up here. We see these hot blue stars. And many times, like in our own galaxy, these hot blue stars are in what we call OB associations. O and B are, of course, two stellar types, very hot stars, O and B stars, so OB associations. And we see that in the same way here. Here's another one right here, in this particular part of the spiral arm.
It looks so small.
I know,
that
right?
thing. I mean, you're talking about 220,000 light years across.
And you're talking about almost 1 trillion stars, whereas we only have possibly 150 billion to 250 billion stars. There's over 1 trillion stars in this galaxy. 1 trillion stars in that galaxy.
And Andromeda is like the largest galaxy in our local cluster.
Yeah, and it's actually heading right for us. Okay, it's
Yep.
like that South Park episode. It's heading right for us. Let's shoot it. You know? Well, the thing is, oh no, we gotta shoot it. I mean, you can't. You have to look at this and think about it as something that's coming at us. But you know what's going to happen when it collides with us? Nothing. It's
But
it's gonna pass
in
through
cosmic
us.
terms, it's coming at us very, very slowly.
Well, it's
Like what, 100 to 140 kilometers per second.
It's actually coming at us. You know, good job with Wikipedia. It's actually coming at us.
No, I got the Andromeda thing up here on the left.
Okay, good. It's coming at us at a speed that is going to get it here in a couple billion years. So no need to panic. But it'll pass through us, and what will happen is, when it passes through us, of course, our galaxy is going to be changed, as will the Andromeda galaxy, and a new type of galaxy will be formed from that union, because it's going to go through us, and then they're going to circle back and end up forming perhaps a giant elliptical galaxy. Because I think that ellipticals could be the result of collisions between galaxies over time. The trouble is, you look at this galaxy, you look at all that dark gas, gas and dust and dark dust, and you say, if you look at these elliptical galaxies, what's missing? There's no dark lanes, there's no dark dust in there. So something got rid of the dust, so that's kind of interesting how that works. And I can tell you that you'd be hard-pressed to find someone who can tell you how the elliptical galaxies form, because it's sort of science we don't yet know. We have ideas, and there's thoughts. But
Dude, this says that there are at least 450 globular clusters orbiting in and around Andromeda galaxy.
that's right.
Some of them are the most densely populated globulars ever seen.
Correct.
Crazy.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, for sure. So remember that first picture? We had like that noisy look to the image. Look at this. It's cleaning up, isn't it? All right, I'm going to go back to this now, and I'm going to see about altering the shot a little bit, just to give us
Leslie asked, will it absorb us or expand us? Eventually they'll just become one.
I think, Leslie, what will happen is it's going to do a little bit of both. It won't absorb us. We will absorb each other, and we'll start to orbit each other. So, you know what? In a few billion years, some other universe skywatchers elsewhere in the universe will look in our direction, and they'll see these two galaxies that look like they're colliding, just like we see galaxies colliding right now. Okay, we see galaxies colliding right now. So clearly, someone looking a couple billion years from now will see our collision underway, and that's going to be something that they're going to go, wow, look at those galaxies colliding. And we're going to be colliding galaxies. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. And if people were around then, which, Earth won't be, but, you won't even notice.
No, a couple billion years from now, Earth will still be here. you know, the sun isn't gonna go, you know, into its death, in its death throes, for at least another 5 billion years or so. So.
Oh yeah, but we're stupid. We'll kill ourselves before then.
I don't think so. I think we're going to actually end up leaving the planet.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
So when it comes right down to it, I don't know that anyone's crazy enough to, you know, launch missiles at us and lob things at us, except maybe the Taliban. But
right.
Go figure. You know. But that's beside the point. So look at that. So now you can see that the black is now no longer dominated by those colors and that modeling. It looks much nicer now, doesn't it? I'm going to actually go into the enhancement location here. And I'm going to try and monkey with the amount of sharpening it's doing. Let's try that. Let's see how that works. So I added some sharpenings to help outline these stars down here, these beautiful stars and this associations.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that pretty? Now, this is without collimation. After collimation, all the stars are going to be pinpoints. They're not going to be this oblong-looking thing. They're going to be pinpoints. So, I'm pretty sure it's going to be pretty beautiful.
I have a question for you. What is microlensing?
Microlensing is the coolest thing. Let's say that this galaxy is, say, between us and let's say it this way. Let's say there's a very, very massive star between that galaxy and us. Okay, mm-hmm. or say this galaxy. Okay, let's say there's a massive star between us and that galaxy. Somewhere, it could be in our own galaxy. The light of that galaxy is going to get bent around the star, and we'll end up seeing the shape of this galaxy distorted, right? And microlensing at the most fine resolution levels can actually show us other planets around other stars, and microlensing has been used to discover other planets.
Well, the only reason I asked that is because a lot of the Andromeda stuff I look up, a lot of them are referencing a thing called the microlensing event PA99-N2. Yep. Hints at the existence of an extragalactic planet. Yep. It is estimated to be 6.34 times as massive as Jupiter. If proven, it would be the first exoplanet to be known that is outside the Milky Way.
That's right. I want to answer your question, Susan. So I'm going to do that. Let's go look here. Alright, here's the Andromeda Galaxy in the sky right now. Right now, if you were to go out and look for the Andromeda Galaxy, it's 60 degrees up in the sky. Okay? So that's like, you know, that's like taking three of these stacked from the horizon up. It's 60 degrees up in the sky, and it's actually in the, let me zoom out and show you exactly where it is. Okay, if we bring this up now, there's the galaxy. You see northeast and east. It's just a little bit past the northeast toward the east, and it's about 60 degrees up in the sky. That's where it is. And that's where I am. This observatory, and this is for Arizona. Where are you located? Because where you're located, you'll have to adjust a little bit. Okay, let's see what Kyle was doing. What are you saying, Kyle?
Here comes the music again.
I didn't do it. I didn't touch it. What's the Kyle? What are those? Right ascension and declination coordinates? What were those for? Oh, okay, for the Andromeda Galaxy. Okay. That's not what she was asking. She wanted to go outside and see it, Kyle, so where would she look? And I just told her. It's just northeast toward the east a little bit, and you look straight, and you look up in the sky, about 3 of these. You know, take your fingers and your thumb like this and stack them, and then go 3 up. The it's about 60 degrees, and then you'll see a fuzzy spot. And I could show you from the Great Square of Pegasus, right? But I don't know if that'll help you if you don't know Pegasus, Susan. So, but let me know.
Pegasus.
Yeah, Pegasus.
Pegasus.
Yeah, P-E. Yeah, P-E-G. Yeah, Pegasus. Where people have motherboards. Yeah. So let's go see how Andromeda looks now. Yeah, we've done. Oh, look at that, Keith, huh?
Oh, it's getting dirty.
That's looking good.
Mm-hmm.
That's looking good. Let's go see how many we've done. 12 minutes and 55 seconds on this. 31 frames. Okay.
It's like SpaceX.
We're gonna pause this right now, and we're gonna save it.
Save.
So we'll save
Keep her
that
going.
for people who want to process that. That's good. If people want to just see the pretty image, the next image I save is I save exactly as you see it here, and you can go and enjoy that too. Again, that is at the location given as our public server, which is on SkyTour LiveStream with Mark D'Antonio. It's the pinned post, and it's given in my Mark D'Antonio Facebook site as a pinned post as well.
The poster version will be 60 frames stacked.
Well, this is the stacked version. Yes, this is what they see. You know, but
Can you overstack?
You can get the dwindling returns on your stack sometimes. Yeah. So sure.
So you think a 60 framer of the Andromeda would be good?
Depends. I would only take pictures of Andromeda when it's at its highest.
Right.
You know, if I'm going to do that.
Obviously.
Not obviously. Some people don't. You know. So here is then here is the Andromeda Galaxy now. Let me just get this to do its thing. Alright. Okay. Alright. So now let's go back and let's take a look. Now this is a galaxy that's known as a spiral galaxy, right? You see the spiral arms. But there's another one that is right nearby that is called the Triangulum galaxy, and that galaxy is a little bit different. This galaxy has more character. How about that? I actually like it more. And you say, how dare you, that's blasphemy. No, it's not blasphemy, because when I show you, you'll see why. Okay. There are so many objects in here. There's globular clusters you can see. There's nebulae. There's many Orion Nebula type things that you can see in here. And let's go see if we can see them. Here we go. We're heading off to the Triangulum galaxy. It's a little bit, it's near this in the sky. It's near the Andromeda galaxy in the sky. And we're going to go probably to one of these nearby stars. There it is up there, Mirage again. And Mirage was that one that had that halo around it. It was so bright. So it's going to center up Mirage. And then after centering it up, it's going to go racing over to this particular Messier 33 galaxy. What do you think there, Keith?
I try not to think. People ask you questions when you think.
I know. Hey, look at that fuzzy spot. Wonder what that is. Now, see, the telescope is operating flawlessly tonight. You know, it's actually giving us dead center views.
It's doing really good.
It's working really good. And just so you know, I aligned this entire telescope from here, 2,500 miles away, because I had lost the alignment. Everything went botched, and I thought, oh no, I can't believe it. Am I going to have to go out there to fix it? And the answer was no. I implemented that plate solving process so that I could tell exactly where I'm looking just by the pattern of stars, and that made it possible to do exactly what we're doing. So that's really cool. All right, so let's bring this up. Let's go now. Let's go 35 seconds per exposure on this guy. Yeah, we're going to go for it. All right, and then we're going to stack it. So it'll take 35 seconds, but then guess what? You're going to see, not that, that's the Andromeda galaxy. But that's a spiral that has spiral arms that are pretty tight. Now you're going to see one and that's sort of on edge. Now we're going to see one that's face on, facing right at us like that, flat. All right, and what you're going to see is a much looser collection of spiral arms. It's going to look a lot looser. All right, and spiral arms are classified, with an S for spiral. Andromeda is like an SB with a little, little b, capital S, little b, SB. This is an SC, not as tightly wound, and you can actually see that here. Not as tightly wound. All right, and we're gonna let it give us one more exposure. I'm gonna see if I can start processing a little, get this doing what we want. Okay, look at that. Isn't that pretty? Okay, so now I'm gonna give us a little contrast between the background here. Okay. Again, we've only stacked 2 frames.
Only 2.
Only 2.
Look what's coming.
I know it. I'm gonna actually bring us up to
Has more of a 3D vibe to it.
It kind of does, doesn't it?
Maybe just because of the angle of viewing.
Maybe. Let's just go a little closer. Okay. Now let's pin that stacking and get out of it. And there we go. I'm going to bring this bigger now. So here, very interesting thing about this galaxy is there is a very, very large OB association over here in this galaxy. Okay, very young hot stars. There's also a bright green object right here, and there's another one up here that you'll see shortly after we get better quality, and then another one down here. These are like large planetary nebulae in here, and once we get our peak efficiency back and get our top focusing ability back next month, you'll actually be able to see the individual globular clusters in here. So they're beautiful. There's just a lot, and here you see this reddish yellow thing, this reddish orange thing. These, all the red spots you see in here, these are the H2 regions, that is the Orion Nebula type places in this galaxy. It's pretty crazy.
Nutty.
It is, man. It's just so cool. I like it. So now I'm going to just darken our background a little more here. Give us a little contrast. Yeah.
Really makes it pop.
Yep. Pop. Yep. Drop in the proverbial cosmic bucket.
Drop in the bucket.
Little bandwidth issue right now. We're waiting for it to sort of catch up, so that might look a little fuzzy to you. Exactly. But check it out, huh? That's really pretty. That's a beautiful, and that's SC. Notice the spiral arms. They're looser. They're not tightly wound. You know. And you ready?
Yeah, but it's kind of like a drunken mess of a galaxy.
I know. It is. It is a messy galaxy. But I'll tell
like
you
Andromeda's drunk cousin.
You know, you look at spiral arms, and I asked this question, gosh, back when I was getting my degree, I asked the question, what really makes the spiral arms work in a galaxy? Because if they really were spiral arms where the stars are all orbiting in the spiral arms, then the spiral arms would actually wind up, long before the galaxy was viewed by us. Every galaxy should effectively be a giant elliptical where there's arms all wound up because it seems like they're winding up?
Mm-hmm.
And the answer is, when we look at a galaxy's rotation, it rotates like a flat disk. It doesn't rotate where you actually see the arms getting tighter as it gets older. Sorry, I haven't got a lot of sleep lately because I've been working with the telescope. But when we look at this guy right here, right, we take ourselves to like this galaxy, and we look and say, these arms are somewhat loose. And being that these arms are somewhat loose, I think that tells us that, these arms are very, they're very, what's the word I'm looking for? They're not cohesive with each other, but they're definitive. You can see this definition. There's definition here in these arms. You can see that really clearly. So what's causing that? And you know something? It's something that it's going to be kind of hard for you to understand, kind of hard to believe, because it really is a tricky thing to fathom. But spiral arms in the galaxy...
Hello, Isabella.
Isabella Melamed. So spiral arms in the galaxy are actually something called a density wave. And you're like, what? They're just knots of stars. That's where stars form. Yes, that's true. But what happens is, the spiral arms in a galaxy don't always have the same stars in them. And you're like, what? 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 Yes. The spiral arms in a galaxy have different stars all the time. They're moving through them. So what is it? It's basically a cosmic traffic jam. You look at it from a helicopter, it's like, here on the interstate, we're looking down the traffic and we can see cars backed up for miles. Okay, well, when they do that, okay, it's not the same cars in the traffic jam all the time. Cars come in, they get jumbled up for a while, then they speed off and as they get through the jam, and they're faster. It's different cars all the time. See, and that's what a spiral arm is. The same way that you have a traffic jam. Think of spiral arms as traffic jams. And you say, well, what's making the stars slow down then? They're just orbiting the galaxy. Yes, but as they approach this knot of stars, which is making the spiral arms, there's gravitational interactions. They get slowed down. They get pulled off their paths. They get slowed down. And they enter the cosmic traffic jam, the galactic traffic jam. And then they slowly make their way through. But when they do, they then move in accordance to the physics that allows them to continue along the way. But they're slowed down as they get into the spiral arms. And so the spiral arms are more like traffic jams, as seen from a helicopter. It's all these different cars coming through. They all get knotted up in one little area, and then they move through. That's a spiral arm. Kind of weird, but that's a density wave, and that's how a traffic jam is characterized as. Is a density wave. So that's kind of cool. The color looks a little too black and white. It actually has more color than that. Let me see if I can drag that out, make that work. That's not the right way to go. Let's undoodle that. What? Yeah, see, we got oh, Isabella, thank you. That is just so kind of you.
What's a BGN?
Bulgarian. She's from Sofia, Bulgaria.
Oh.
So that's
a Bulgarian gold nugget?
Yes, it's Bulgarian gold worth $4 million American. And she's quickly like, no, cancel. Thank you very much, Isabella. That's very kind of you. I'll tell you, you can see how much Ray. Oh my gosh. All right. Yeah, darker means I spend so much time doing processing afterwards, you can't imagine. But thank you, Ray. Yeah, it's true. I spend a lot of time trying to get these processed, and that just doesn't stop. It's so cool. This galaxy is just over 2 million light years away. So here's something to think about. when you look at this galaxy, you're seeing the light from over 2 million years ago. Isn't that crazy? It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to wrap your head around.
It is. And the Andromeda galaxy is 2 million plus light years away by just a little bit. And it's taking, it takes it that's long to get here. So when you think about traveling to the stars, we can't go as physical beings. We can't go light speed because it just doesn't work for us. Obviously, the physics won't work. Einstein figured out that beings like us could never travel at light speed. Because at light speed, you turn to pure energy because there's what's called a mass energy equivalence. And that's characterized by the equation E equals mc squared. So when you think about E equals mc squared and the mass energy equivalence, you have to consider that if you travel at the speed of light, then your mass is converted to energy. That's what that equation signifies and shows us. We see it through experimentation and through study. So we can never travel that fast. However, we could do an end run around it, and I characterize the end run around it by showing it to you this way. Right? Here's a paper towel. If we go from the corner to the other corner, just directly, we have to traverse this entire length of this fading and crazy looking thing. Instead of having to traverse the entire length, and let me just do this for you to show you. Instead of traversing this entire length corner to corner, okay, we could do something like this. If we could fold space and fold it up so the corners are almost touching, then we can step across that tiny gap and then unfold space. Now, if we were going from here to Alpha Centauri, we'd have to do that folding, crossing, and unfolding many times, most likely, because it needs a certain amount of energy to be able to fold space. Naturally, we couldn't get enough energy to fold a giant chunk of space. We'd have to do this process many thousands of times to get to Alpha Centauri.
Right.
But how long would it take us to get there? Right now, we only know about going straight through. We would have to traverse the entire space from one corner to the other. And that's 4.3 light years. At the fastest possible speed we can go, the speed of the New Horizons probe, for instance, going to Pluto, it'll take us about 10 to 12,000 years. However, if we can fold space and do that bit and cross over and then unfold space, we could be there at Alpha Centauri in as little as 5 days.
That would take a lot of energy.
It would, but I'm convinced that advanced civilizations have actually done this.
Of course.
And that is why they're possibly here. I mean, I don't see any reason why they can't be here. I really don't. There's no reason they can't be here. You look at this picture right here. We're looking at an extraterrestrial civilization. Somewhere in that image is someone else looking out at us going, I know there's people in that galaxy. I know there's beings in that galaxy. But keep in mind that they won't look anything like us. No way, no how. No way. They ain't gonna look like us.
Well, I don't know. I mean, if you're still applying the math sequence, I mean, there's some out there that are going to be relatively close at somewhere in the cosmos.
Well, the reason they won't look like us, though, Keith, is because we've had 5 major extinction events on our planet that have shaped what the final outcome is.
Yeah, what I'm saying is if you're thinking about math, there might have been another planet out there, according to the numbers, that also had 5 major extinction events. There could be some that are very similar.
I don't disagree that that's probable.
Well, yeah, the numbers don't lie.
I used to make the joke that there were a whole bunch of other, a whole bunch of other guys out there that might be looking at us in the same way we're looking at them, saying, hey, I wonder if people out there are like us, or beings out there
I'm
like
sure
us.
there's bipeds and,
Well, you know what? I think that bipedalism, like walking on 2 legs like we do, I'll tell you this. We're carbon-based, right? And based on our DNA, which, you know how DNA works, right? If you have DNA strands, well, they unzip, right? And then they end up getting duplicated. Those strands duplicate. And they're duplicated using complementary nucleotides, complementary, nucleic acids, okay? And so by doing that they get zipped up again. That's breaking of symmetry and coming back to symmetry. The double helix is symmetric, and we're symmetric beings. Okay? We're center across the center line like a double helix. We're symmetric. So I think at our basis, the most basic part of humanity, we are symmetric beings with the way we interact with the world because of our DNA and the way it replicates. That's my feeling. And so I think that that's a template that the universe actually provides. And carbon-based life is a template that the universe provides. On SkyTour Radio on Sunday, we talked about how the other atoms in the periodic table can't support the variety that carbon can. And people say, well, what about silicon-based life? It's a distant, like fourth or fifth, and it can't support the variability. Here's the problem. When carbon makes a bond, it'll bond readily with oxygen, hydrogen, a whole bunch of stuff. Actually, it bonds with more things than any other atom in the periodic table. Okay, so that gives it a hell of an advantage. Then, if you take the carbon atom and you look at how its bonds are formed, well, the bonds can be broken. The bonds can be brought back together again, right? Silicon, on the other hand, silicon only knows how to do one thing really well, and that is make crystals. So when silicon bonds with oxygen, for instance, it makes sand, silicon dioxide, which is SiO2. Okay, Si for silicon and O2 for 2 oxygens. Good luck breaking those bonds. They're tenacious. They don't want to break. So when silicon makes a bond, it usually makes a crystal, and it doesn't like to be broken, so that it removes it from contention of being a basis for life. So as you go further down the periodic, carbon is above it, okay, and silicon is below it in the periodic table. As you go lower in the periodic table, there are fewer and fewer of those atoms available. Silicon was the only hope, if you're going to think of it that way. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
So I guess it kind of destroys my theory on sulfur monkeys.
Yeah, afraid so.
Yeah. You know what's crazy when you think about it, though? Like, any little change to how we know our life exists. So make our planet the gravity a little more, intense over a long period of time with evolution. Yeah. Just totally throws off our entire stuff.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
put us a little closer to the sun.
Yeah.
Just a little closer, not much, enough for there still to be life, but a little closer in the Goldilocks zone, throws everything off.
That's right, and it actually can cause a tremendous number of woes, if you will, for us, because just being a little bit closer will cause like the oceans to get a little bit warmer. Let's say by 3 or 4 degrees. Well, that's the equivalent of a major extinction event right there, because in the Permian period, 250 million years ago, 252, we had a major volcanic eruption in what's now Siberia. And this eruption actually spewed so much carbon dioxide out into the atmosphere that the temperature on the Earth went up by 21 degrees, okay, in a fairly short order, okay, just like a month. And the oceans were then heated up so hot that ocean life died off, especially the phytoplankton, the makers of oxygen on our world. And a lot of marine life died. Actually, 98% actually of all life on Earth died in the Permian. They call it the Great Dying. And at the time, guess which animal type was approaching dominance? The animal that was approaching dominance wasn't a sulfur monkey, as Keith would like, but
reptiles.
No, it wasn't. It was actually the things that would become mammals like us. So we were hardest hit, and so the things that weren't hardest hit were the reptiles, as you're about to say, and that was more like that. So he's right on that, Mark.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome very much. So what happened was in the Permian, when when animals that would then become us if they were given a chance were relegated to the background and hardest hit, this is when the age of the dinosaurs began. right? And so the mighty reptiles had from 250 million years ago all the way to 65 million years ago. A very successful run, if you might add. Humans have been here for just about 100,000 years, 200,000 years if you go back to certain amounts. You can go back 4 million years to Lucy, Australopithecus afarensis, and say, well, Lucy was sort of like the first hominin, the first bipedal creature, so maybe go back 4 million years. But it doesn't hold a candle to, the time that the dinosaurs were here. They died 65 million years ago, but they started 250 million years ago. Wow, that's pretty impressive. That's a long rule. But that said, when the dinosaurs were rendered extinct by the Yucatan impact, which is what we call the Chicxulub impact, the KT boundary event, whatever you want to call it, Cretaceous Tertiary boundary event, whatever your language, whatever your syntax, when the dinosaurs died, guess who was waiting in the background to come back out and fill all those niches that were emptied?
I knew it. Sulfur monkeys.
Sulfur monkeys. No.
Oh.
Nah, the things that would become mammals. What I find interesting about this is that mammals, they seem to be, anyway, possibly something that is naturally selected as a dominant species. They were on their way up in the Permian but got wiped out, okay, but not entirely. There was little ones that were left behind that made it. But then we rose quickly to dominance after the dinosaurs were wiped out. But are dinosaurs a natural occurrence on a planet? I don't know. Okay, did it take the great dying, or did it take an extinction event to allow an odd event like dinosaurs occurring on a planet? I don't know. Maybe that's not normal for planetary development. Maybe it is.
You ever think about this? What if we're the there's no better way to put it. What if we're the dumbasses of the planet? What if aliens are visiting and actually talking to dolphins? Like maybe they're a special communication device, between those, or a special connection, or any other creature on this planet for that matter. We just don't understand them because we're.
I have no doubt. I have no doubt that some of these.
We're the dummies and don't know it.
I have no doubt that some of these things are possible. It's fun to think about, but I don't necessarily think it's true. But it is kind of fun.
Right,
to think
it's
about.
possible.
Yeah, it's I mean, if you're gonna accept that there might be alien life on our planet, I guess you got to accept that maybe they're talking to dolphins. I guess, right?
Well, I'm just saying, like, what if the dolphin language is actually an alien language that we just don't know about?
Yeah.
So we think we're all high and mighty because, look at us, we're humans. We build stuff, we're self-conscious, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And here the dolphins are, planning a brutal attack in the ocean.
That's right.
To take over the place.
They're gonna take over the whole Earth.
And aliens are like, okay, we'll help you. We'll get rid of this surface nuisance, and you can have the planet back.
Well,
what if?
It was Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, right? That basically said that the planet was actually run by mice.
Yeah.
Remember the mice?
You know who are probably the Mac daddies of Earth? Cockroaches.
Yeah, but you know what the most successful creature is on the Earth?
Sulfur monkeys.
No.
Oh.
Not the sulfur monkeys.
Turtles.
No.
They're up there.
No, put it out in the chat. Let's put it out to the chat. What's the most successful creature on the Earth? And by successful, I mean it found a way to exist, and it hasn't changed for its entire existence.
Porky pigs.
Yes, porcupigs. Yes, exactly. Pigs with spines.
Oh, not porky pigs. I'm sorry. But what do you call them? Porcupines.
No. But there is a creature on the planet that hasn't changed and is the most successful creature in terms of its structure and its capability, and in terms of its the manner in which it gets its food. Okay, it hasn't changed ever since it came to be. Most successful creature. Mull it over in the chat, and I see Roxana. Roxana's here. Hi, Roxana. How are you? I missed you. Roxana's such a good person. Roxana Justice. Okay, Norvase. And she says, and people are saying insects in general, cockroaches. No, it's actually not cockroaches. It's not insects at all. So there's a hint. Okay, Isabella.
I have a
thank you.
guess, but I'm not
I'll read your
positive.
email, Isabella. Thank you. I can't wait to look at your new site, folks. Isabella Melamed from Sofia, Bulgaria. She's been taking our photos that we take and doing a really, really beautiful job doing processing. And she's so humble about it. She's really cool. And she's a damn good animator and illustrator. So if you actually have stuff you want done, I think you should talk to her. She's probably got she can probably whip something together for you in no time. You know, she's fantastic. So, I'm going to tell you, don't worry. Sharks, gators, and snakes. Nice OG, but that's, no. You're going to laugh. You're not going to believe me. You're going to have to look it up. That's what's going to happen.
All right, are we talking? Okay, let's give a hint. Is it microscopic or is it actually a?
It's macroscopic. It's nothing that's microscopic.
Okay.
Okay, it's nothing microscopic. And it is in the earth. It doesn't.
Well, then it's got to be sulfur monkeys.
So we got that.
Yeah, because I originally would have said algae, but
no, nothing microscopic. No, not COVID. Hey, good one. COVID. No. That's funny though. In a way.
Well, there's only one thing I think of that lives forever and always just repeats the same thing. It can do anything and never die. So I'm going to have to say Keith Richards' final answer.
Keith Richards doesn't live forever. Doesn't live forever, actually. You know. But
Betty White.
That's funny. Golden Girl. Not bees. Good guess, Susan, but no. I know Roxana wants to know.
Pigeons.
Oh, Isabella. Keep it going, Isabella.
A snick.
Some kind of sea monkey. Hey, that's funny. Those are brine shrimp. Isabella's on the right track.
Did you say brine shrimp?
Yeah, those are sea monkeys. Okay.
So it's not snakes. It's not worms.
No. Well, no. Isabella's on the right track. She said some kind of a worm is her answer.
Well, is it one of those caterpillars?
What? Caterpillar? No. But Isabella's on the right track. It is some kind of worm. But what kind of worm is it?
Ringworm.
Ew.
No?
No. But there's tens of thousands of kinds of worms. Crustaceans? No. Good one, though.
Sponge.
No, MLR says horseshoe crab. Yeah, those are ancient creatures, but the creature that's actually changed the least throughout its time on the planet. You want the answer, guys? I should tell you. It's the mundane earthworm.
Food.
The earthworm.
Sodium erythorbate.
Yeah, the earthworm. Tardigrades are interesting too. Volkish Fraulein says, tube worms. Tube worms are actually, we don't know how long they've been around, to be honest, because we only discovered them back in the early 70s when we went down to the volcanic vents at the bottom of the ocean. I have a piece of one of those black smokers here that, I was given from the Woods Hole Oceanographic guys. And it's really interesting because it's like, this is it's a rocky thing. You said that, Leslie? You said an earthworm? If you said that, I'm sorry, I missed it. Marianne, I said that first. Okay, you guys fight it out in the playground, okay? I missed it if that's what you said. Yeah, OG, it says fishing bait, right? We call it fishing bait. But my gosh, imagine that, huh?
The duck-billed platypus.
Duck-billed platypus is also a strange little ancient creature. Very strange creature.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
A furry duck.
That's right. A furry duck with poisonous talons at the back of its back flippers. That's a bad thing. We don't want to have that biting into us.
Nope.
Nope. I'd say no. I say no. Uh-oh. I say no, Peter. Okay. I want to do one other. There it is. That's where I'm going. Let's see what's the height of this?
Cosmic soup.
Cosmic soup. Yeah, Volkish says they fascinated by the black smokes, deep seep, and ooze, brine lakes, and other super weird deep sea oddities. Yeah, and that's kind of funny. You know, if you think about it, you watch at the bottom of the ocean, you can actually see what looks like more water. I don't mean just more ocean. I mean the bottom of the ocean and like a depression, and then you see like an ocean surface with water rippling. And that's actually the heavier brine where the water has become saturated with salt. It's actually a very, very briny, salty water. And it actually floats on the bottom of seawater. And it looks like another ocean. And I saw this really interesting experiment where creatures that fell into these brine oceans died because it wasn't something they could live with, and they couldn't just swim out. It's weird how that works. These things are really, really interesting. You know, fascinating. Okay, this is. I want to find out how much altitude we have here. I gotta find out what we got for altitude. I think we're gonna be pretty good. I'm not sure.
So you're saying that it's not sulfur monkeys?
No, Keith, they are sulfur monkeys. You have been right all along. I've just not.
I knew it.
To you. I know.
See, you thought I was stupid. I knew it.
I didn't think you're stupid. I didn't think you're stupid. I just think that, you know, sulfur monkeys were, you know, sulfur monkeys are sulfur monkeys. What can I say?
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah.
Especially when they fart.
Yeah.
Anybody who's been around sulfur knows that.
Yes. Okay, we're going to come around to the south right now. Swing our telebutt around.
Telebutt?
Telescope butt, yep.
Dude, I heard this one restaurant. What was it, Tennessee or Kentucky or one of them? But you go in and they ask you how many butt nuggets you want with breakfast.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
Come on.
That's what they call eggs.
Oh, you're making stuff up now. You're making
like, what do you want?
up.
2 pancakes and what? 2 or 3 butt nuggets? I forget what the place is called, but it's one of those quirky, you know.
Yeah, okay. That's kind of weird, to be honest. That is kind of weird. The old butt nugget thing, huh? Wow.
Well, just don't get the hairy juice.
I'm not even going to ask what that is.
Oh, that's their term for orange juice with pulp.
Oh. Whew, boy. Okay. Yeah, I don't like orange juice with pulp. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It's
not my thing.
I could never have it. I could never deal with it.
Yeah.
No good. No good. No good. All right, we're just going to drop down here and we're going to go check out the closest planetary nebula to us, which is the Helix.
The Helix.
The Helix. Yes, I'm going to get rid of this and bring back this here. Just a minute. Okay, and bring back our... These are going to be fairly straight. So there we go. So I'm going to drop us down now.
That actually works because of what the matches are made of. It's a neutralizing agent of some sort, sulfur.
What's that?
It's not the actual flame itself.
What isn't the actual flame itself?
That's a little sign combo. But I am so going to use the
I see
term
what
made a stinky.
What?
I am so using that term at some point in my life.
What did I miss?
Nothing.
Oh. Make us stinky.
Made a stinky. Oh, that just got added to my repertoire.
Yeah, I have a feeling it probably did.
Can you imagine that with the pooter? Sorry, I made a stinky.
You know, my dad did this funny joke. Like, we were all watching TV one time in the TV room, and they passed away. Both my parents a while back, obviously, but he actually said, "I have to go to the bathroom." He walks into the bathroom, leaves the door open, and you hear him go into the bathroom, but you hear the water going in the toilet, and it just doesn't stop. It's going and going and going and going and going, and finally, my mother goes, "What the hell?" And she runs in there. He's pouring water from the tea kettle into the toilet very slowly, with laughing his butt off. It's hilarious. It was very funny that he did that. I thought that was really funny.
Oh, yeah, it reminds me of that, like, what was that, Naked Gun, when Leslie Nielsen was in the bathroom? And he had the microphone on accidentally?
Yes. Yes.
He's in there singing.
Yeah. Yep.
I made a stinky. That's great.
He's a funny guy.
Yeah.
Right.
Dad used to do that too. Every time, like, you'd walk past and you hear a little toot or something, he'd be like, "Damn ducks."
Well, you know. Yeah.
The ducks are out.
Yeah, I heard that. I also heard, I stepped on a frog or whatever, you know.
Yep. Ribbit.
Yep. But hey, whatever, you know, that's the hilarity that ensues when you have young boys in the house, I guess, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Heck,
if it wasn't for fart jokes, I wouldn't have survived my teenage years.
Oh, I'm well aware of that.
No, I'm still at it.
Oh, I'm well aware of that.
Oh, I know you are.
Yes.
I've gotten you many a times.
Oh, I'm well aware of that.
And I've gotten Marianne as well.
And she's well aware of that, I'm sure.
You should have went to the grocery store with me and Marianne.
Oh, yeah?
As soon as I walked in, I pulled a pooter out of my pocket and I just showed it to her and she just goes, "Oh, God." And she started to walk away from me and I'm like keeping pace with her.
And why wouldn't she?
That's great.
You know, I had this thing. I used to do magic for a long, long time. Magic tricks and stuff. I do shows. Well, I ended up getting this one trick, which actually was the coolest thing on the planet. I would actually walk up to like a book at Barnes & Noble, and my youngest son would video capture. And I'd open the book and the radio would start playing. And I'd look over at Hunter and I'd say, "This is one of those radio books." "Oh, is it, Dad?" Yeah. See? Open it up. Close it and it goes off. Put it back down. And then walk away and then just watch all the people that come up and start opening the book and waiting for it to play, putting their heads down, listening to the book. You know, it was hilarious. It was a little magic trick where, you know, I had this little radio under my armpit, you know, and then it had this belt clip, which was two pieces of metal that when you pushed your belly out, it would push the clip together and make the radio play. Very cool thing. It's actually sitting behind me. I haven't used it in years. But man, it was so cool. I loved it. It was hilarious. This is the Helix Nebula, guys. You can see the central star there. That's a white dwarf that died. The star has fluffed off its outer layers in its death throes. And we're going to take an image of the Helix now. Telescope's been performing very well, and so we're going to take advantage of it and go to the Helix now. The Helix is about as high as it gets in the sky for where we are in Arizona. With this, I'm not in Arizona, I'm in Connecticut, but we'll do 25 seconds and we'll go now.
Oh my,
here we go. And we'll be stacking this baby.
Sulfur monkeys unite.
Welcome, philosopher. How you doing? Good to see you. Mr. Spiritus, I didn't say hi to you actually before, sorry about that. but I'm glad you came here. And of course, Volkish Freilein, I talked to you, but I didn't say hello, so I'm sorry about that. I'm remiss in that. I apologize. I like to say hello to everybody who comes to the stream. Oh,
Hello.
I've got to clear this. We're not right there yet. This is not the best way to do it there. Right.
Yeah.
There we are.
Yeah.
You're just quite strange, don't you know?
Yeah.
There we go. Look at the Helix Nebula.
Look at the green.
It is, interestingly, a kind of a greenish blue color.
That's a lot of copper.
Yeah, Beavis.
Yes, the copper bomb.
Wow, what you said, butthead.
Okay, so let's pin that. Whoa, pin that bad boy. So there it is. Check out all the detail in the Helix. Helix is the closest planetary nebula to us, the closest dead star to us. And this is quite big in the sky. The Dumbbell Nebula is a fraction of the size, but the Dumbbell Nebula is farther away. So it looks pretty nice.
Green and orange.
And Philosopher, I say hi to you as well.
Philosopher.
Mm-hmm. Philosopher. MLR. I actually did I did an astronomy magic show for an organization, a school, and like to illustrate weightlessness, I had a ball that would float around the stage and do all kinds of things, and I illustrated physics principles with magic tricks, and they had everything. They were kindergarten all the way to 6th grade in this. The whole school was there, and they actually really liked it. You know, the kindergartners were like sitting on there like Indians, looking up with their hands and their fingers folded, going, "Wow!" You know. The 6th graders were in the back trying to look cool, but they kept their eyes riveted. That was pretty good. So, I mean, I tend to use that to do my teaching. I will actually use magic to teach. When I do talks, I do magic tricks as well as part of the talks. Like, I actually try to show people, like, for instance, how infrared light works. And to do it, I use a technique where I'll actually capture a little piece of red light at the end of my finger, and I'll throw it to this hand, and then throw it back and forth. And the light just goes back and forth. It's just a light, you know. I did that in front of 800 people at the Ozark conference, Ozark in Arkansas, and the people come in from all over the place for that particular conference. And I was talking about infrared light, and I wanted to show how we look at the smallest pieces of light. We actually check out the light. And when the light comes from a star, sometimes it's very faint, but sometimes we go to the red end of the spectrum. Bing! And there it was. And this light is the key. And then I throw it to this hand. And there's people in the audience going, what? You know, but yeah, it's magic with a point, and that's the kind of thing that I really like. I think that's pretty cool.
Saucy.
Yeah. Hang on, I'll be right back.
Don't threaten us. Mark's on TV again on the History Channel. Yeah, you know, I get kind of creeped out because sometimes I fall asleep with the TV on and it's on one of those channels, and I wake up hearing Mark and I'm like, oh god, he finally broke into my house. But no, he's just giving his info on some TV show.
What?
Yep, exactly.
What'd you say?
Nothing.
Oh, man.
This is a and C conversation. Be out.
Okay. Alright, so while this is integrating here, let me just show you what I was talking about.
Okay.
Yeah. So when I did this, I basically said, okay, here's the thing. as astronomers, we're trying to look for light of special type. So we get that red light, and so we take this red light right here and we throw it here. See, now there's the red light there, and then we just toss it back and forth, And I was talking about this as infrared light. So as infrared light, we look for the secrets hidden within the infrared light. This is what the James Webb is going to do, and we take that light and we process that light. We look for all the details in the light that gives us all that information for us. And if we find it, well, then we're lucky to be able to see, for instance, an exoplanet around another star. That's the whole point of these things, just like this. So that's the whole idea. So that's kind of what I'm talking about when I do the magic tricks at these shows, at these things. I use it to prove a point about light, for instance, and that's an example of one of them. I just thought that I would share that because I don't know why, but I just did. So there.
Super.
Thanks for asking. All right, now we'll get rid of this. We'll go back to this. So there's the Helix. Look at that. It's really looking pretty. And now I think we're pinned, right? So we can go full screen. Yeah, look at that.
Got me for another 10 minutes yet, Mark.
That's okay, because that's about as long as it's going to take to integrate this, and then we're done.
Sweet. Yeah, I have actually got to help my dad move tomorrow. Oh, joy.
Oh, where's he moving to?
He got a new house out, not too far from where he is now, but
okay.
Yeah, still in PA.
All right. Hey,
so I get to move the big furniture.
So, whatever happened to that idea about us going down to that observatory down there?
Everybody just got so busy. Oh, the one down here in Pennsylvania?
Yeah.
Well, I can still contact them. I mean, they're open again. Well, I mean, with COVID, it kind of got put on hold. But...
I know. But can you contact them again? See if we can do something?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Because I'd like to come down there and maybe talk to them.
Yes.
Is the guy that runs it, is his last name Yoder?
No.
Okay. Just cast.
He is not an Amish.
Oh, that's all right. That's pretty.
It's actually, I think it's run by Westchester University.
Okay.
Is the one who funds it. I know that, but I think it is an independent. Like they help fund it anyway.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Oh, C&D boy, yeah, I get that. I understand. I never went into this to be some kind of TV guy. I really didn't. I just speak my piece. I really feel strongly and passionately about the universe and the life in the universe. So, I guess that's how it happened. And I don't think of myself as any different. I'm still me, and I still put my pants on the same as anybody else. So I don't mind that they want to use me for stuff because I'd rather hear it said in a way that makes sense rather than some of the sensationalist things they say sometimes. So that's kind of why I'm actually willing to do it.
Unless they manage to chop up your audio and make you say stuff that you didn't really say.
Only happened to me one time, and I would never work with those folks again.
Aliens on the moon.
Well, that show, okay, the thing with that show was interesting. They were good people, but they had an agenda, and they just didn't want to hear anything else, I think. And they arrived at the house to do filming at 9 a.m. And I didn't actually get to do the filming until 10 p.m. that night. And the reason is because they waited all day and into the night before they actually sent the photos for me to analyze. And I kind of think that it was because I was tired. They wanted me to be tired or something so that I might be more willing to agree with them. I don't know. Well, as it is, there was one photo they showed me that I thought was rather interesting. I said, but, and this didn't get into the film, I said, but it looks like that could be an artifact on the film. I'd have to see the negative to be sure. And that never got in. But there was one they had where there was two not valleys, but ridges in a crater. And there was, I forget how it happened, but the way the lighting was low, and the ridges were illuminated from down low, and so one ridge was brightly illuminated, and then there was a valley in between, and then another ridge and the lunar terrain. So it looked like that ridge was actually a bridge, not a ridge, over the moon, because you couldn't see into the dark shadow, because the Apollo astronauts shot for the moon. They shot for the brightness of the moon, not for the darkness of the shadows. So there was no data in the darkness. And I actually thank you, C&D boy. I actually went and created lunar soil. I created lunar soil using the properties of lunar soil. It had the same static properties. It had the same color, had the same consistency. And I made ridges. I made them so that they would stay by themselves. And then I put the light down low, and I showed how this was just the angle of the sun. And when you raise the sun up, okay, it illuminated the valley, and you could see that it was a ridge and not a bridge. But when you had the sun down low, then that particular valley on that next to that ridge would be black, and then you would see this thing that looked like a bridge. It wasn't a bridge at all. It was just a non-illuminated valley with its ridge. And I showed him that, and the producer looked at me and said, "Yeah, that won't make it into the show." But that's the truth.
Well, not only that, but did they send you like the pictures with their color enhancement of the area?
That's the other thing. They all the pictures they sent me had color enhancements to kind of lead me to think that there was something else. But I know how to look through that.
What did you think of the big wheels?
Well, actually, the one with the wheels on it, actually, without the color enhancement, the ones with the wheels are the ones I thought might be a film artifact. Because you did see what looked like these strange round wheels, and I thought they were pretty cool. But as I said, they colorized them all to try and throw me off, or because that's what they were planning on using. So I don't know, but that's all right. You know, I still talk to the guy, the producer. He sees me at a show. He goes, "Oh, you're the best, photo analyst I've ever met in my life. Oh, you're the guy, man." And it's like, yeah, okay, sure. Just don't want me to do my work. That's all right.
It happens.
Yeah.
All about ratings.
It is. I don't know. Oh,
well, the good news is if any of them do you wrong anymore, you have your channel here that you can explain further or tell you what actually happened.
Yeah, you know what though? They no one since then. That was like years and years and years ago. No one since then has ever done that now. They always give me the ability to make the final say. I just want someone to say it. If it's not me, that's fine. But as long as someone says the right thing. Leslie, you're asking a question. You said you liked the show that I did with Ben Hansen on Discovery Plus. Yeah, that was Alien Invasion in Hudson Valley. I felt that they actually wanted me as one of the cast because they wanted me to be the scientific guy. But the truth is, Ben is also scientific, although he's self-taught. He didn't go to school for that, but that's, he's brilliant in that regard as well, I think. And and Ben and I are good friends, and I've worked with Ben a number of times, and he's really, really good. So I know that the show presented some challenges to us because it was November. And here's a little insider information. It was November when we shot it. It was 20 degrees in the Hudson Valley, and some of these elevations we were at. Very, very cold. And then after we all were done with the production, it was half the month, more than half the month of November in the Hudson Valley every day, working out there. Well, we get back and we go back about our lives, and get a call. We have to do pickups, which are second interviews, things that we missed the first time around. And we said, okay, well, where are you doing them? Are you coming back to Hudson Valley? No, we're going to do them in Los Angeles. I went, okay. Well, it was winter when we came out there, and now it's like last I checked, it was 95 in Los Angeles today. And he said, yeah, I know, but bring your winter clothes. So I brought my winter clothes. We all brought our winter clothing. And we were dressed in our same winter clothes that we did the show in. On the day, it was like 85 degrees. It wasn't 95 degrees. But it was 85 degrees. And we're sitting around a picnic table. So the scenes where you see us sitting at a picnic table, those were shot in Los Angeles a few months later. And they were but those are important scenes. Because
tricksters.
We had the show. No, those are important. I get why they did it. It was important to do it because we had to show the missing pieces that weren't there. So we had to do them somehow. So to get continuity, we just did it that way. We could have done it with interviews, like you saw in some cases, in seats looking at with a wall behind you or something like that. Those are like the interview segments, the on the fly type things. But you know what? To keep continuity, to make the show solid and cohesive, they actually did need to do that. And I get it.
Yeah, it wasn't the first time they did it. It won't be the last.
No,
they do that for a lot of stuff.
A lot of shows do that. But see, we're telling a scientific story. And to tell a scientific story right, I don't care where you do it. Let's just do it. And if you saw me in shorts and a t-shirt in one scene and in winter clothing in another, well, that's uncomfortable for an audience watching. They lose the chronology. They lose.
It's
where we're
jolting.
Going. And I mean, they were saying things like, "Okay, Mark, for this next scene, you're going to need your red sweatshirt, your black shirt, your black jacket, your gloves, and your black hat." And the scene after that, okay, no gloves, no black hat, your gray sweatshirt, and your black jacket. Okay, so there was somebody writing down all these continuity things to make sure we got it right. But see, that's how you tell the story. You tell the story in that order. And so to have to do it again, it's fine. I'm used to that. I worked with Douglas Trumbull, Academy Award-winning visual effects guy. He did Close Encounters of the Third Kind, for crying out loud. Some of you here have seen that movie, and you're into this whole thing because of him. Blade Runner, he did that. 2001: A Space Odyssey. And Doug is a genius. And we do things the same way when we're doing movies with Doug. We have to do things out of order sometimes. And, you'll be doing a scene and you hear things like, okay, at this point we already know about such and such. Okay, so don't react with surprise or whatever. That's what they tell the actors. When they work with Doug, I'm always a technical guy. I'm always working on stuff behind the scenes. I'm never an actor with him because actors are actors. I'm not an actor.
Right.
You always say I'm a bad actor, Keith, and that's mean. Yeah, it hurts.
I'd say you were a bad actor. That's going a little overboard. I said you were a horrible actor.
No, I didn't say bad. I said horrible actor. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, coming back to the Helix Nebula, while I'm sitting here talking to you, we got 40 stacked images. I'm going to pause that. I'm going to save it. So
there you go.
I know Isabella's out there just going, yay, yeah, yeah. 40 images. That's more than we did before, Isabella, by far. So
that's gorgeous, though.
It is. It's beautiful. And then just so you know, by the way, and I've talked about this before, but I think I should say it again. When you look at this stuff here in the middle, okay, that star, you notice that star looks a little blue? It looks a little blue because it's a white dwarf. It's very, very hot. Okay? Very, very hot. And it's ionizing all the gas out here in this area around the star. This used to be, basically, the white dwarf was basically the core of this whole star. And when the star collapsed after it died, it was a star more like the size of the sun. The sun's going to become one of these eventually, a white dwarf. Okay, and the sun's going to have a planetary nebula around it. That's what we call these. These are those sloughed off layers that get sloughed off as the star ages. And we're left with these right here. We're left with this look, okay, because we see that the star's hot radiation is a white dwarf, and white dwarfs are very hot. They give off a lot of ultraviolet radiation. Well, when we see the white dwarf irradiating this cloud of gas, okay, it's ionizing this material in here, and we see it's a different color than the stuff out here. That's because it's a different material. This represents a different material that got sloughed off of that outer layer of the star. The stuff in the middle here is generally, when it's bluish green, that's oxygen 3. Okay, it's doubly ionized oxygen. All right, and the stuff around the bottom here, there's usually hydrogen and neon and other materials that glow red. Hydrogen primarily, and we call it H2 or hydrogen alpha. All right, and that represents electrons getting ionized off the atom and then bouncing back into the atom. And as they come back into the atom, they go to level 2, energy level 2 in the atom. Okay, and that leaves us with a red color. It gives off red light when it does that. They absorb radiation, and then when they come in and give off radiation, it's in form of light. Here, the oxygen is a bluish green, and that blue-green glow is, as I said, doubly ionized oxygen. And it's shown as oxygen with an O, and then a Roman numeral 3, 1, 2, 3. Now, why would it be 1, 2, 3? Okay, why wouldn't it be 2? If it's doubly ionized, it should be a 2, right? Well, oxygen 1, okay? Oxygen 1 is the base state of oxygen. An oxygen atom that has everything it needs, like all of its electrons, okay? That is oxygen 1, but we just don't use the 1. If we ionize oxygen 1 time, it's oxygen 2. That's Roman numeral 2. If we do it 3 times, it's 2 times, it's oxygen 3. Because the first one's a gimme. So the other 2, there's oxygen 2. So the first one's sort of a gimme because that's the base state of oxygen. And that's what we see here. We see the oxygen 3 right here. We see this bluish white dwarf. This is really a beautiful view of the Helix. It came out really nice. And then we see the details in the Helix Nebula. Now, as they slough off into the outer layers, you think it's sloughing off into empty space. But if it was, then what we'd see sloughing off into space would be even on all sides. It would be the same. But it's not, is it? It's not because it's not coming off evenly. It's actually coming off unevenly. And so you see here's one shell that came off at one point, another one over there, and some more over here. Okay, you see that it's come off in different ways at different times. And that kind of tells us a lot about one of these planetary nebula. It's really cool. Really, really neat. But you know, I'm glad that you guys have stuck around and hung out with us today.
Yeah, fun times.
And you too, man. So here's what I'm gonna do. It's probably, for me, it's 2:08 in the morning. So as an astronomer, I'm always up late, yes. But still, it's time for me to get some sleep because I got to be up kind of early tomorrow anyway. But if it's clear tomorrow night, we're going to do this again. Okay.
The Big 10-4.
That's a big time for it. Yeah. So I'll show you the close-up procedure too for those that want to stick around and watch how we close up SkyTour LiveStream. First things first, let's save this. Okay, we'll save the Helix.
An inside look at closing the observatory.
Yeah. Well, I just want, I want you to see what's involved. All right, so we did that. Okay. And now what I'll do is I will go over here to the control panel here for the camera control. Drop us down. There you go. I was waiting for that.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Waiting for that.
I was good all night.
Yeah, you did. You did very well overnight.
Yep.
Keithy, you did okay all night. You didn't.
I gotta squeeze them all in now.
You didn't know. You didn't do any.
Literally.
Stinkies all night. Yeah, that's.
Can you put the camera that's on the scope? Does that become bigger, or is it stuck in that size?
No.
When you go to do that.
No, I can actually bring that up full
Oh,
screen
cool.
if I want to. See, because this is actually this is one of those things that I can just resize the screen. See? Now look.
Awesome.
And I can go to full screen if I want, but then I won't be able to see what I'm doing.
Hey. And yes, once again, it is possible we will be doing a solar stream in about 10 hours or so,
Right.
if weather permits.
Oh, there's a lot of sunspots. You should.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's the channel there if anybody wants to go there or subscribe or whatever. That way you have the link to it.
Good. Put it up there. Did you put it up there?
Of course. I come prepared.
Okay. Okay, so I've disconnected the planetarium from the telescope. You know, as you start up things, you gotta unwind them into the same direction, go the opposite way with them.
Unwind them and put them down.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Okay,
ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us on the SkyTour LiveStream.
That's it. Now I'm going to park the scope. I'm just going to go to this predetermined location.
Predetermined location.
Yep. All right. And
I'm just going to repeat words in the radio voice until we end.
Yeah. Actually, I'm going to do a little maintenance thing here. Let's go to...
We're going to do a little maintenance.
We are. We're going to do a little maintenance.
Little maintenance.
We're going to do this. All right, let me go south with it. Okay. So now we're just going to drop the telescope down.
Dropping the telescope way down.
What cartoon does that annoyingly so? It's a cartoon that does that annoyingly, so they do it all the time. They repeat everything they're saying in a radio announcer voice. I think it's a Family Guy thing.
No idea.
Yeah. I think it's Peter doing Family Guy voice. Really
twinkle, twinkle, little star.
How I wonder why you are. Never mind what you are.
We all know why they do what they do. They got a little bit of gas in them.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, you'll notice it's getting really bright, and that's because we're now looking at part of the observatory wall. All right, so now I'm going to head
looking at the observatory wall.
Take us to the east a little bit.
Exciting.
If you look up here, you'll see these are the alta-azimuth coordinates. Okay, it's like, you know, an angle this way away from north. Okay, and this up and down is the altitude. So the altitude right now is 14 degrees up and 189 in azimuth. I'm going to go take it to just about 180. And then when I close it down, you'll be able to see what's going on as well. Okay, so let's just do this. Get over.
Just gonna rock a little bit of the telescope cam.
Yeah. Okay, so let's just do this another way to tick, as they say in London.
Once again, be sure to hit the thumbs up button. That helps Mark here hit the algorithm that YouTube desperately wants to ship out to every one of you guys.
Well said.
Makes him be recommended to people he's not subscribed to. That way they get a little taste of the cosmos.
It's a good idea.
So make sure you hit that thumbs up.
If you do hit that thumbs up, I would appreciate that.
Feel free to comment after this video goes live after the stream. Also helps it hit the algorithm.
Yes, I would love to hear your comments.
Mark would love to hear your comments.
Yes, I just said that.
The good, the bad, the ugly, and ooh, baby, the sexy.
Yeah, we can't end anytime too soon now, can we? All right.
Anytime too soon.
Okay, so this is good where we are right now. So what I'm going to do now is go into my setup. I readjusted the coordinates while in here, so I am not going to risk the telescope having a new position that it thinks it's in. So I'm going to go down, and if you look down here at the bottom here, you'll see there is the this is the setup of the telescope that I'm looking at here. And I'm going to take us down.
Take us down.
Take us down.
Take us down.
Yeah, I think I should have. I think I went down too far. Yes.
Down a little too far. Telescope's being a little saucy.
I am such a moron.
Such a Maroni.
Okay, here we go. Okay. All right, here we go. Okay, so I get down here, go into telescope.
Nothing like closing up the telescope with a little church organ music.
That's right. It's a religious experience for some people.
It is a religious experience for some people. Oh, there's the gun.
I wish I knew what I was talking about.
I wish I knew what you were talking about, too.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so park position. This is the park position that we're going to use.
Putting it in the park position. Putting money in the meter. Parallel parking for the night.
You realize you're annoying people.
Annoying people.
Okay. All right. So now we are parked. Not parked, but we're in a park position. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move us up. Take us out of here.
Take us out, Scotty.
Move us to a strange location. And then when I go to say park, you'll see the telescope go back to that position we were just in.
Do it.
Yeah, we're doing it. So here we go. Telescope goes back to that park position we just set. Okay, slewing to the park position. It says so down here. And then it's going to
slide the
turn
roof
off
nice and slow.
the telescope once we're there. And
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what automation looks like in the year 2021.
And now that I have my telescope, you'll see this shut off here. So, okay, telescope is off. And now all that's left is to shut the lid, basically. So now we're going to close the top. But as you notice, you'll see that the stars are now drifting. Telescope's off. So just looking out into space, you're just watching what's coming through the field. You're literally watching the rotation of the Earth right now. Right there.
Earth rotation, 10-4.
Okay. Alright, so we can just get rid of this now. We are done and closed. And now what we can do is close the roof. So when we come over here, I'll show you this. Let's do this. And there's the top there. Alright, and now I'll get us back to our little guy here.
Whoa, back door.
And now we will close the roof and watch it close.
We are closing the roof, not the roof.
Now we're closing the roof, and it's closing 2,500 miles away from here. I think that's pretty cool.
The telescope says, take care now, bye-bye then.
Yep. Yeah, bye-bye
I'll just
now.
put a little blankie on it.
Bye-bye now. Yep.
And let it go night-night.
Yep. So there we are, guys. And now I can disconnect the telescope from the system and disconnect it from the program. All these little programs go away. There it is. It's disconnected. Now I can close. And then, once this is out, we're done. So we actually got quite a lot of objects that we took pictures of tonight, and they actually came out quite nice.
Came out absolutely beautiful.
I really like the Helix. That came out really nice too. So we're done there, and we're done here. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, hey, thank you guys for coming. And I look forward to doing this with you again. So we'll talk again soon. All right. So you have a good evening. Thank you so much for all your compliments and so much for your donations. That was fantastic. You know, I really appreciate that.
Super.
Thanks for asking. All right. And there's no doubt we had to do that too. All right.
Ending on a high note.
We'll see you later.